Come in, come in. I could seat you by the fire. Listen, listen. There's something I must confide. I know I said that it'd be fine. I know I made it look like it'd be alright. But I think I learned my lesson, and I'm not gonna let you out of my sight. You can call me killer, 'cause I'll bring you to the light. And it might taste bitter when you're answering to God. You can call me killer as you look into my eyes. Nothing but a sinner. You won't get away this time. You won't get away this time. You won't get away this time. You won't get away.
Hello, everyone. It is time now. Female Pro League, and it is July 19th. We're opening things up here with a matchup between Savage and Flawless Nerdette. Flawless Nerdette are on a 3-game losing streak coming into this one. Just recently, they lost in a 3-1 series off stream to Orbit. So, looking at that, we're starting things off here with game number 1, Stronghold Hardpoint. And once again, of course, my man Dirk is back here casting with me for this first matchup.
Definitely. I'm not sure if I might have my team switched. The team playing with 3 is Savage, correct? Okay, so we have a chance for Nerdette to get the win finally after being on that 3 losing streak. But Ban and Protect's already in full effect right now. We have the Concussion, Rapid Fire, Shiva, Flashbang, and High Cal. So Momentum trying to be slowed down with those 2 tactical bans. And we're going to see the HCXD go out next.
Of course, we see the Shiva taken out, High Cal, Rapid Fire, and Overclock. So this Ban and Protect, pretty straightforward all the way through. And looking at both of these teams, I really want to see, of course, we're in game number 1, the last respawn on the side of Flawless Nerd. That didn't really go in their favor. Of course, they lost the uplink and the capture flag in their previous series to Orbit, and that uplink, something that we're going to have to focus on a little bit further in this series because that one got out of hand pretty fast.
Yeah, I mean, you have more experience in the Female Pro League of these teams than I do, obviously. But, I mean, I casted some last week. There's some pretty good games that went on, but 3v4, it's going to be a little bit of a handicap there for Team Savage. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, can you just imagine winning 3 versus 4, like how great you would feel?
It would be absolutely insane. I know I've lost 3v4, so that's something from my perspective. Yeah, it didn't...
That's why you cast, right?
Yeah, exactly. See, you got it right there, because I lose 3v4 sometimes. But anyway, looking at this first game, we look at some of the team compositions going into this one, and of course, Savage with this handicap going in. I really like the Purifier Scythe Kinetic Armor setup because you get around to the Money Hill inside a bunker, Purifier watching one door, Scythe watching the other, and then a Sivers can pop the Kinetic Armor and go off if she needs to.
Yeah, I mean, definitely like the perfect 3 that you can pick being down 3 versus 4 right there for you. So like you said, around that bunker hill, the Purifier plays such a big part. Even the Scythe as well. We saw just at the Stage 2 finals, a Nameless using the Scythe as well inside the hill. He's able to, I think, to get like 5 kills of people trying to push in. So those are definitely huge ones. And then the Kinetic Armor as well. That's going to be on both sides. I mean, everything is on both sides apart from that Heat Wave, obviously, going to the 4th player of Flawless Nerdette. But so the Kinetic Armor can also come into play if used at the right time. We do see a lot of specialists misused, and that's kind of what brings down teams. It could be their downfall with that. So create a class. We got 30 seconds left for these teams to get everything set. And the Bandit Protects, like we said, everything just normal. Still frags, Semtex in there, so look for some Flakjacks to come out as well as the trophy systems. Don't really want to go into predictions of this one because I think we just kind of know what's going to happen. Maybe if another player does get added in, we can maybe make some predictions on it, but I think we kind of know how this one will turn out.
Yeah, it will be very difficult on a lot of these hills and Stronghold to be able to get a very nice team set up, especially when you think one person going to have to be watching the spawns. You're going to have to block spawns as well. But even looking at, you think contest time, the first hill, second hill inside of bottom edge, and even the bunker, you think, if Savage can get a clean break, those are hills they can hold. It's just going to be, can they hold and pick up time on half wall, and can they set up around rocks on that field side as well?
I mean, we see it so many times in Call of Duty games. That first hill is really just going to be a sort of a toss-up hill, just out in the open, easy to contest. I mean, how big the hill is. But like you said, kind of moving to that mansion hill and the ones after that, it's going to be a lot harder to contest because they're so small, like so impacted. Like that mansion one, the only place you can really hide is maybe behind the bar or by door entrance over by that cliffside. So the game is getting started up. And I want to go ahead and jump on board with the team that has the 3 players. I want to go on board. Let's go. I want to go with Clammy at the start of this game. But so I'm hoping it could be a close one. I mean, we, like you said, some 3v4 magic can always happen. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one does play out.
Oh, yeah. So we're going to start things on the board, as you said, with Savage and Clammy. You're going to be the one to watch. He does have the M8A7. Silver's going to rock the Man of War, so some more damage over range, and then the VMP going to be coming out of flavor. Start things off on the other side. We see 1 AR and 3 submachine guns for the break on the side of Flawless Nerdette, but Clammy, you think she's going to have to set up around the fire pit, watch over the highway, and inside of the hill as well. And it looks like on your screen, she will be that 3rd player for the Savage squad as game number 1 is now underway.
Definitely so. Immediate gunfire going to be going down from this half wall area. It's going to be Iserv's pulling that first blood, and Flavor going to be jumping right into the hill as well. So Savage looking to try to get off to a hot start here, and they are doing just that. AR being such a big role, stopping players from coming inside of the hill. Able to pick up one kill there. Can she find another? She is not going to be able to. Just smart contesting this one. I mean, you know you're down in the count, so you just kind of got to play it slow, and it's what you're going to see a lot of them the entire game is just really getting that contest time, trying to drain down the clock and then get those big pushes, wait for your Purifier to come out on that money hill. So it's going to be interesting. But Savage, they're actually down. No, I believe they're up. My colors are so off that I'm getting like so thrown off with it.
This is where, once that break comes in from Flawless Nardette, this is where we'll see what Savage can do with this handicap, right? You see Flavors contesting inside of the hill. She has one to her left. That's going to be Lolo Bunny taking her out. So that puts the two Lady Presence inside the hill for Flawless Nardette. And both these teams going to try and set up for the spot on Mansion Hill. You saw the spawns are in favor of Savage. A Prism going to go up top, pick up one, moves into the hill, tries to pick up the second. Flavor, though, comes in with a two-piece, cleans her right up.
From the spawns right now for Flawless Nardette, not looking good as the Savage squad is able to break this hill, making the players spawn all the way out by that third hill rotation. Gunfight going to be going down top. Mansion is going to be won by Lola the Bunny, and just like that, we are still going to see the Flawless Nardettes break into this hill, take over time once again, forcing Savage to spawn out cliffside. Let's see what they're going to be able to work here. It's going to be really... You're down in the man count, you're going to have these timed pushes, and they're going to have to work every single time. Obviously, you're going to want to go for the pinch. You don't really want to flood everybody in, so a lot of strategy is going to have to come out. But like I was talking about, that contestation spot, which actually did not work out for Flavor, lasted a couple seconds, but Prism was able to take her out. But Flawless Nardette pulling away with this one early. Rotations coming in. Player to watch is right here is going to be Prisms as she is pushing to try to get these spawns. Gunfight going to go down, going to go ahead and retreat. Drop the trophy system. I love that play.
Yeah, I love it too. She gets rid of the Semtex that comes in from Clammy. Clammy has now destroyed that trophy system and is threatening inside the hill. Opens this up, picks up one. That's Sharpie. She's looking for another inside the hill, and she's able to find Prisms. Goes for the third, not able to do it as Sever's the last one standing. She's able to try and clean up three there on the side of Savage, and you see where they're spawning at now. They have that back satellite spawn. They're watching the middle cut and over by Bunker as well. Flavor moves back, picks up another, and this is what you want to see from Savage. I was initially worried about them being able to pick up time around this half wall area, but if they can hold these spawns, and if a Sivers and Flavor can keep all the pressure inside the hill that they have now, they can pick up even more time, and now we see Kinetic Armor trying to do wonders, but Sharpie is able to clean her up.
Showing some life here on this hill. They're actually able to hold that down for quite some time, but when it mattered most, Flawless Nardette was able to push in, grab those spawns, and obviously we know how big spawns are going to be on this Stronghold map going from that third to fourth hill. Getting those basically locks down. You're guaranteed if you hold it down long enough, like 50 seconds. I mean, I don't want to go like 100, well, actually more than that. I'm just trying to think on my mind. I was thinking just like 30 per hill, but you're going to be able to lock down a lot more than that. Probably like around 70 seconds, maybe. If you hold it down well enough. So that's what we're seeing from Flawless Nardette right now. I'm on board with Sharpie. As I hop on board, she goes out, but the kill feed just going to be lighting up this Flawless Nardette squad as Savage does all drop. Spawning in this Mansion side, you're going to need some more strategic pushes. Not just going to want to flood everybody out of Mansion, and that's not what they're doing. I mean, that's what they keep doing. I mean, they're not trying to really coordinate a push to go anywhere.
And even look at this. You see the early rotation on the side of Flawless Nardette. They're not cocky going into this one. Prisms, the first one to move over, a Flavor comes through, absolutely guns her, takes her out very early, so 13 seconds left, and you see Flawless Nardette going to go for the early rotation once again. Try and get a pinch inside the hill. That's huge. They eliminate the Purifier from the occasion here, so now the only thing Savage really have to work with is the Scythe, and Clammy isn't even very close to getting that one yet. It's going to have to be a clean break, but I like what Clammy's doing. She's still staying alive back here, trying to pick up one inside the hill. The slide ends up not helping her out there, and now Flawless Nardette going to use a lot of their utility. The Purifier going to be watching both sides of this Bunker Hill.
There's definitely, you could have seen some life come from this Savage squad if Flavor was able to stay alive and pick up some kills at Purifier, maybe get around like 20 seconds on this hill. But this is really the hill that we thought they were able to get a lot of time, but that Purifier got shut down. It's like a Heat Wave to Purifier battle, Heat Wave coming out on top with that. But this is one of the hills where they can hold it down, and that's what we're seeing right now. You just have to have your main players just on the areas. I mean, just watching the doors and have your AR set up in there as well. And they're actually getting a lot of time on this one as we're going to be rotating to that middle hill soon. But that was pretty impressive what we saw there from Savage with 3 people able to hold down the Bunker Hill. Yeah,
I really do like what we saw out of the squad there. And now Clammy has pulled out the Scythe, moving back to the second rotation of Hill. She's 50 away from the streak. She's not able to clean that one up with the scythe, so she's going to have to wait a little bit longer and get another streak going if she wants to pick up something. So what do you like so far on the side of Flawless and her death throughout this first rotation?
I mean, I just like from the fact that at the start we saw him kind of off to a slow start. They were getting shut down, but I believe it was I can't pronounce the name. Sivers, is that how you've been saying it?
Sivers.
Yeah, Sivers. They were getting shut down by her at the start of the match. I mean, we saw a lot of that coming in there in that first hill. But I mean, what Flawless Nerdette has been able to do is breaking the hills and then getting those rotations too. I mean, we saw during that mansion hill, they were actually getting spawned out a lot, and I think around like the 35-second mark, they were able to coordinate a push, break the hill, then they were able to hold the majority of the time. Then going from that hill, there was players from Savage who were already rotated to that third rotation, come in there, Flawless Nerdette, had a little bit of trouble breaking it at first, but once they got the person positioned in that back labs area, they were able to coordinate that push, break through, grab those spawns, and then it was pretty easy for them from there on out.
Oh man, look at the way Sharpie went and took out one inside of the hill. She was followed by her teammate as well. Both of them end up falling, so early time here is going to go to Savage, but you do see one top computers for Flawless Nerdette. I believe that was Lolo Bunny who goes down as Sivers pushes out, picks up one. Clammy helps her out with the second, so now more pressure can be put on the side of Savage, but it looks like they're going to try and display this one closer towards the hill, take out another wave of players. Now Sivers going to start to have some of those streaks to work with. One more threatening from the middle of the map, and I love this play. She gets out of dodge, knows Flavor is supporting her top computer. She's able to clean up that kill very easily. If a Sivers has to, she also has the kinetic armor, but right now she's more focused on getting the Cerberus just 125 away. The kill picks it up, so now she's fully streaked out and has the kinetic armor to help her.
I love that play. I was kind of sitting here as you were going on, just like waiting for her to use that kinetic, because I mean, you're playing for streaks. It's a perfect time to use the kinetic armor. We're going to see her ping the lightning strike right now. She's going to opt to not use it, but she will be taken out from Vendetta from mid-map. So now the hill has rotated. As you can see, it's going to be Flawless Nerdette all over it, but this is where the lightning strike is going to come into play. If she positioned it right, she should be able to pick up a lot, but she picks up 0 kills with that lightning strike somehow. I'm absolutely mind-blown at how she picked up 0.
Have to pick up more with that lightning strike. That really hurt Savage going into a half wall in the first rotation where they were able to pick up a good chunk of time, right? You think going on to this one, this is another time they can pick up a lot, and even going over towards the next hill, they have this Cerberus on the side of a Sivers that they can use. So you think on these two hills alone, they can work themselves back into the game, but that failed lightning strike doesn't help them. Control of the hill going back and forth between both teams. Flawless and Nerdette going to get the better of Savage so far in here.
They definitely are, but it's going to be Flavor. She's going to be coming into the hill, able to pick up 2. Now it is in her control. She does have the Purifier too, so if they can just hang on and get to this bunker hill in this match, it's going to be hard to do. But like I said, this is the point where you just kind of want to contest hills. Obviously, you want to fight for time, but you don't want to be stupid with it. You got to try to contest, but these next 2 hills, they're going to be so hard to contest because they're so much in the open. They're not very big hills. The next one is maybe the time we're going to be able to get a majority of it, but we're going to see the Cerberus coming into play, and I believe it is actually being EMP'd in this mid-cut area. It's going to be Flawless Nerdette inside of the hill, but just like this, the break is coming. Flavor again, trying to pick up 3, but she will be taken out by our own teammate, Clammy.
Now I'm starting to think, you know, if Sivers uses the Cerberus on this hill, the EMP is a great counter coming out of the side of Flawless Nerdette, but you think Flawless Nerdette would have to take 50 out of the 60 seconds on this Rock Hill to be able to win the game on the rotation, right? Cerberus comes out early. You think maybe try and save that one over towards Bunker Hill where Savage were able to hold it down. You think you get that far, Clammy will have the sight to work with, and you can really pick up a lot of time, possibly pick up the full 60, if not 50 seconds if you play that correctly.
It's going to be huge by Clammy right here. Giant gunfight. She is going to be able to win that one. So now the Scythe can be used on this hill as well. And we talked about the Purifier and the Scythe as that is going to be brought out. These can be huge on this hill. So let's see if Clammy decides to gamble and use that. Shot's going to be coming down. Looking a little shaky right there. But she is going to be able to clean that one, burying the player from Flawless Nerdette, but she will be taken out. So Sivers is going to be inside of the hill right now, edging closer and closer towards that kinetic armor, and they're doing such a good job of keeping this game close. When we talked about it, they can just hold on for this hill. They're going to be able to bring it so close, just with 3 players fighting against all odds. We're going to see Sivers still on the hard point, being able to pick up a kill right there. And Paradox, I'm going to be honest, I'm mind blown at how well they're holding this down with 3 people.
I love the positioning from a Sivers and Flavor. They've been able to work together so well here. Flavor, speaking of which, she pushed into the hill, almost looked like she was going to pick up 2. Has to settle for 1, but look at the contest coming from Clammy. There's only 10 seconds left in this hill. She's doing an amazing job right now, but look at where Flawless and Nerdette just spawned up at. Their nearest player pretty much spawned on the other 2. They have full control of the middle of the map. Going into this next rotation, there's no one for Savage around, and there we go. Flavor now comes up. She's able to pick up 2. There's one more threatening from Half-Wall, and look at this. Clammy's pulled out the scythe to try and hold down more time for Savage as they're working to come back.
Full streaks for Flavor right now. 48 kills, trying to go for the 50 bomb. Hellstorm and Lightning Strike and counter AV. Is that going to come into play on this hill? Clammy locking it down with the scythe. 205 to 222 in favor of this Flawless Nerdette squad. Flavor gonna opt to use that Lightning Strike, being able to take out 2, so the 50 bomb has been achieved. The Hellstorm's gonna come in, but it is gonna take out a Sivers, our own teammate. But Clammy inside of the hill, getting dirty and doing some of the OBJ work in these final closing minute and 15 seconds of this match. Picks up 1 kill there. Can she pick up the second? Yes, she does. There is going to be a third around the corner, but she's going to back up from this one. So something to keep in mind now is the players from Flawless Nerdette did just spawn out a bunker, so they're going to have the preferred spawns for this hill.
So, something I really want to highlight on there, the play between Clammy and Flavor. Clammy backs one player for Flawless Nerdette into the contest spot on that first hill. Flavor comes up right behind her, takes her out. So there, Savage picks up even more time. Now they're going to try and put some pressure on the bottom mansion. Flavor's going to try and open it up, almost picks up 2. A Sivers contesting, working together with Clammy. That gives them control of the hill. A Sivers picks up 1 inside the hill as well. The 3-lady push getting ready to come out on the side of Flawless Nerdette. They're going to try and get this break. Clammy cannot stay alive here. So we have an absolute bloodbath going down inside of the bottom mansion.
My goodness, Flavor picking up 2 kills there, getting the assist. The Sivers coming in, picking up the nice 2 pieces as well. 238, 233, closing minute of this match. I wonder if Flavor is going to opt to bring out that Purifier, but this is looking closer and closer. And if you're this Flawless Nerdette squad, you are beating yourself up right now. Counter UAVs come, all 3 players going to be flooding through this bottom room, and it is going to be the Savage squad picking up the win. 250 to 233, down the woman. How did this happen?
250, 233. Flavor almost dropped 60 in that one, 59 and 31. And you say, how in the world were Savage able to win that 3v4? One thing I really love, the positioning, the way they were able to play off of each other. You talk about stronghold in any map, in Call of Duty, especially in Hardpoint. You need your ARs and your subs working together. And with Clammy, Sivers, and Flavor, what they were able to do were play off of each other, right? I highlighted one on the middle hill. They had one set up in top computers, one inside the hill. As soon as a player dunks down into bottom mansion, the other player for Flawless Nerdette goes for the chase. She's easily cleaned up, pinning players, separating them, and then taking them out. Divide and conquer. Great comeback in game number 1.
And I think that one of the biggest things too is what we saw, since they're kind of down the person on the team. They did a lot of flanks. I think it was Flavor the majority of the time, especially on that first hill, kind of go through mid cut, go around to half wall, and having to worry about somebody flanking so much. Whereas if it's kind of like a 4-on-4, you don't really have to worry about that. Everyone's just kind of be going like gun to gun. But with that one, the flanks were the biggest things, and I saw it so many times on hills, and that was absolutely insane. I don't know what the final scoreline of Flavor dropped 59 kills, 1 kill away from the 60, 2 minutes and 10 seconds in the hill with 16 defends.
She's doing everything she possibly could for that squad, and you think even there, a Sivers gets almost 2.5 minutes inside the hill as well. Now we look at a game number 2 set up for Hunted Search and Destroy. Again, with this handicap, I was thinking, you look at the maps in this series, Search and Destroy is one. I would say, okay, maybe Savage most likely lose game 1. They can easily win game number 2 off the back of a Sivers. She's so strong with the sniper rifle. Expect to see some of the target bands come out on the side of her. But even then, you have to also worry about Flavor and Clammy because they did not disappoint in game number 1 by far.
Oh, yeah, they definitely did. I thought, anyway, I didn't really get your prediction for it, but I thought it was just really going to be a blowout. You kind of expect that going into any game. Like you said, you were 3v4'd once before, so yeah. You know how the other team is feeling right now with that one. I don't want to throw any shade at you or dish you, but I'm just bringing it up because I've never been in that situation. I've been in league play where you get 1-on-4, but that's not very fair. But that was absolutely insane. But now we're heading to Search and Destroy, where having that one person down can still give you that advantage as well.
So even if you even look at Hunted, right? You have so many long lines of sight. You're able to pick off a player very early. If Savage is able to get the first bloods in their favor, expect to see them convert that into round wins because then they have a 3v3. And as we saw, the way they were able to work together in game number one, the positioning, and then being able to bait and switch trade kills effectively, it should be very good.
Oh, yeah, it definitely should be. So we're just waiting for the players to get into the lobby. If you guys are just tuning in, we saw a match that you don't even see with 4-on-4 sometimes. Like, it was that close playing 3 versus 4, and Savage were able to pick up that win 250 to 233 with a huge game coming from it was coming from Flavor, who almost dropped the 60 bomb too. I mean, everybody on the team had 40 plus kills apart from Flavor, who had close to 60, like I just said. I mean, if you're this Flawless Nerdette squad, you got to be worrying about that. That has got to be so demoralizing. And we would run through the stat line. Vendetta 28-35, Prisms 22-29, not too bad. Nerdette Sharpie 21-45 and a 19-33 for Ololo Bunny. That is absolutely insane. I mean, that just shows how many the amount of engagements that Sharpie had. What is it? It's around 66 engagements. That's a lot of engagements. I mean, if you win about half of those, you're set. I mean, there's no because I mean we saw a majority of the gunfights. A lot of them went down inside the hill, from like my opinion. Obviously, that's what happens every time. But Sharpie was really the one who kept on charging in there. But the thing that kind of led to Flawless Nerdette's downfall is we saw when they were trying to break hills, especially on that last one, they just flooded straight at, like they were literally lining up one by one by one. And that you can't do that. You're just giving the other person all these points, building their way up to score streaks as well.
And on the other side, you even think of all the engagements we saw inside the hill. Those are a lot of what a lot of people refer to as high-impact kills. Having Flavor, Clammy, and a Sivers all picking up 2-3 pieces at times inside the hill, you cannot really let that happen because then sometimes they did have the spawn control. Even if they go down, they're spawning up close to the hill, they're right back in there. And they were able to convert that pressure into kills and then get that in the time. And absolutely crazy comeback in game number one. And looking at game number two, I'm really interested to see what routes a lot of these players do decide to take. We look at some of the team compositions in Search and Destroy. Will we see the Overdrive come out, someone try and go in an early flank, as we saw Flavor was able to work her way behind a lot of the Flawless Nerdette players in game number one? Be surprised to see that because you think if she does use that, she can be put in not the most favorable position, and then pretty much Savage might be working around 2v4.
Yeah, and Hunted is one of those maps where Overdrive can really benefit you. I think every time you kind of see a Hunted Search and Destroy, you're going to see a majority of the time that Overdrive be picked. I mean, because it can get you into such good positions as well. Maybe expect a Glitch play. I really like Glitch on this map because I saw it by Crim6, and this is where it made me fall in love with it. They were on, I believe, the defensive side, and what he did is he ran straight into tunnels, got on the bridge. As soon as he got connected with some gunfire, he glitched back. That immediately gives you intel on where the players are going to be. So maybe look for like a little strategic play like that. But I mean, Hunter Search and Destroy, it's a map that's not played too much. I don't have any issues with it. I'm fine with watching it. I think it's the bomb sites are the appropriate distance away. I mean, you're going to see a lot more B pushes than you are A. I mean, that's with a lot of things in this. I mean, you maybe see an A here and there, and obviously the rat backs and stuff like that. But we are heading into this one. It's going to be the Savage squad trying to take it 2-0 to go up in this series. Paradox, I'm actually excited for this one.
Oh, anytime, I will say, when I come on to Casimir Pro League or when I'm watching, a team I love watching in Search and Destroy is Savage. And immediately we're going to see Flavor actually get rid of the overkill. So I'm thinking, are they possibly going to go with 2 AR and 1 sub setup, possibly sort of get rid of the sniper because of the handicap that is on? You think it's a sort of a safer play, right? You want to play this one straight up, sort of like you did in game number one, and then we see Thermal and Concussion follow suit.
In my opinion, when you have the 3 people, I think when you have like your full squad, you're allowed to have that one person use a sniper because then you're going to have 3 other people with those guns. So I mean, you want to take the sniper out of the game because obviously you don't want anybody from Flawless Nerdette using it. But snipers really don't play that big of a part on this map. Yeah, there's not very many lines of sights. Maybe if you get lucky and you're guarding that A bomb site and you're out there by patio, you can maybe jump up and get a kill. But it's something we don't see too much of on this map. But right now, like you said, overkill. Thermal going to be going out from the side of Flawless Nerdette. Concussion of Flashbang. Same thing we saw in that Hardpoint and High Cow and the HCXD. Rapid Fire going to go out. So that's going to do it for the Ban and Protect. I mean, something that we saw as well, there was a lot of people running Semtexes. I think that was really all we saw, but they didn't have too much of an impact in that Hardpoint.
It seemed like a lot of the time they were used to try and get players out of position. So that's something that I'll be paying attention to in this game as well. Try to sort of get some of the lethals in there to force a player out of position, force them into the line of sights of your teammates, and then go for the picks. So now, as we see some of the team compositions going into this one, of course, Search and Destroy, we see a lot of the abilities come out, and the first pick was actually Glitch, picked up by Jazzberry.
Definitely was, and then it's going to be Heatwave for Flavor for Clammy, active camo. The kinetic armor. I'm not too much of a big fan of that, especially since you're playing down. The biggest thing I can maybe think of that is that you realize the other team has extra person. You're that confident in your gunfights, you're going to be able to build towards it. So that's just maybe could have gone with maybe something else in that Glitch, maybe even a Vision Pulse as well too. So and then it's going to be Vendetta taking the active camo, Bunny with the Heat Wave, and then Vision Pulse for Prism. So like I said, all lethals are in play with this one. Maybe see some trophy systems like once again, like we kind of saw in that Hardpoint. Like I said, kind of just used to bait the players out. I mean, we saw a perfect example in that third hill rotation too. We saw the trophy system go down to shoot that Semtex out of the air, so it couldn't really get the player out of position. So it's going to be interesting to see how it does go down on this map. Maybe a sniper here or there. Obviously, probably going to see it with the Varric sight and SVG, but an overkill was banned as well, so we're not going to be seeing that come into play with the two guns, one in the back pocket. So it's just going to be straight up gunfights for both these teams, and maybe an RK5 in the back pocket if anybody does opt to use a sniper. I'm excited. I just want the creative class to get over with so we can just hop right into this one. Should be a good one. And once again, you just have to kind of remember, maybe we might see some hardwired. EMP checking is something that does go down a lot on this map, especially in that cave area. So that's just always something to keep in mind as well.
Something that I'm now thinking of, you mentioned maybe try and match the Vision Pulse on the other side. Thinking you had to think of the map like a fog of war system, right? For a lot of MOBA fans out there, is you don't know what you're really going to see. Of course, you have sort of an idea, but looking at the kinetic armor is one that takes a long time to get in Search and Destroy. So you have to get to that round 9, 10, 11, unless the player is going absolutely off for it to really make an impact. So thinking of them having Heat Wave and active camo to use, Clammy's going to have to really pay attention to her, see how she's able to use that. And then on the other side, Flawless Nerdette's going to be able to get a lot of information with that Vision Pulse once it comes up. You think over, she's able to pop out of the water and use it, maybe trade her life in that situation, get a lot of intel over on the A side as well. So looking at this, I'm very interested is what I can say for this game number 2, and I'm glad that the map is now loading up.
Definitely. And like you said, I mean, it's just sort of one of those like taking one for the team. You have that Vision Pulse pop up from the water, get the team, like the intel from your team, and hopefully the risk is worth it and you're able to trade out some kills and then get the positioning of the players as well. So hopping into this one, Paradox, who do you want to jump on board with?
All right, let's see. I'm going to go through some of the classes we see. All right, yep, Sivers, she does have the SVG out. I want to start on board with her.
Ready. So we're going to stay on board. She does have an EMP as well, I believe, when I was just kind of scrolling through. Nobody else is going to be running an EMP, so she's going to have the upper hand maybe before pushing into a certain site. She's going to be running the SVG just with the stock sight, and then what they're going to be able to do here. So at the start of this round, she's going to be pushing towards this mid-map area. Not going to spot anything as all the players from this Flawless Nerdette squad have pushed into cave. Gunfight is going to go down. It's Vendetta trading some shots with the players on the other side of the bridge. That is going to be Clammy. So let's see what's going to go down here. I see here a Semtex being thrown, going to blow up. Nothing going to be coming out of it as we did just reach the 1 minute mark, and it's going to be Vendetta drawing first blood. Just like that, the B side opens up, but a Sivers going to fire right back, trade it out with the SVG.
That's good. And now look at the position from Flavor. Right, she's coming up close to Jazzberry. Doesn't see her to her right. Jazzberry's going to make her pay for it. So now a Sivers is left in the 1v3. The bomb is down at the B side. She has 2 EMPs. Historically, she can spot check, but you know she's able to pick up one on Vendetta, so that makes it the 1v2. And it looks like the pinch is going to try and come in from Flawless. That perfect read. She's now made it a 1v1. That bomb is still down. It's just a Sivers and Prism's left, but Sivers can't pick up the last one. First round going to go in favor of Flawless Nerdette.
The dream was almost alive there for a Sivers. You're going to see Prisms in your final kill cam, opting to not go with Afterburner or Flak Jacket for this one. Extended map grip, Elo, and Stock with the fast hand. So that's just something to keep in mind. Could come back to bite in the butt, especially if those Semtex are thrown. HCXD did get banned out, so you don't really have to worry about that. And this is kind of one of those maps where you don't really need Afterburner. I mean, it's for the most part, there's not many wall runs that you can hit. I mean, obviously Afterburner doesn't help out with swimming or anything like that too, so you can kind of maybe opt to go without it, but you definitely usually always want to see somebody at least running one first perk. Flavor, going to be your bomb carrier right now as they're pushing bridge.
Look at this, Sivers pulls out the sniper rifle once again, almost connects with the first blood, but looks like the 3-lady setup outside of A for Flawless Nerdette, and player I'm going to be looking out for is Jazzberry. She's going to be able to spot one coming around the corner. That's the Sivers flying high with the sniper. Jazzberry tries to get away. Flavor's going to make her pay for it. First blood in favor of Savage.
Lola Bunny in a good position right now on the head glitch. On the bomb, she's going to be able to take out Flavor, but just like that, Clammy going to fire back and take out Prism. So now a 2-on-2 situation. Savage needs to try to wait to work for this bomb, and that's exactly what a Sivers is going to do. She did pick up a VMP. So let's see what she's going to be able to do here. Does have double EMP. It's going to be able to take out one. That is going to be Lola Bunny, and the Sivers hitting some 6 snipes to start off this game. Let's hop on board with Vendetta. She's going to be last alive, and right now she looks like she might be able to take out the bomb carrier here. She is going to see leap over. I don't think a Sivers can see. Now, if Vendetta does play this perfect, Sivers probably did see the jump over. We'll see in the final kill cam. But I mean, if she didn't, Vendetta right there, she would have played that right. Would have been perfect. Yep, she definitely saw when she was jumping over, and Sivers' sensitivity, man, is cranked.
Man, I have to say, looking at that round, I sort of mentioned it when we were loading in. You think she has the sniper rifle out, she's able to capitalize, pick up those first bloods, expect those rounds to go in favor of Savage. That's exactly what they were able to do, because they make it a 3v3 early, and from there, all they had to do was work the trades. Absolutely beautiful round on the side of Savage, but now, Flawless Nerdette will be on the attack. They're going to push the bridge side early, and Savage going to get very aggressive here on defense. Look at this position from Sivers. Able to pick up the first one, tries to get away, has played her life, and look at that. Her teammates come right back around. There's 3 quick down. Prisms, you're the last one up.
Oh my God. This is absolutely insane.
Oh, man.
Like, all right, so first off, you have Flawless Nerdette. They're like, okay, you know what? Nobody goes A. We're going to go A. Savage is right there, like, you know what? We feel like stacking A this time, ladies. Let's go for it. They go for that. A Sivers picked up 3 kills in that round. One with the bomb carrier who was coming over the bridge. Second one was able to escape with her life. I don't know how. Came around, took out that player, then hitting that nice snipe right there. Building her way towards those streaks, 75 away from a counter UAV, and we were talking about me, especially saying kinetic armor with 3 people, it's not going to work out. She is so close to it, probably a couple rounds away before she does hit it. She's able to pick up a kill in each of these rounds, but it's going to be Savage pushing towards this B site.
She's 75 away from starting to build towards these streaks as well. Jazzberry's going to go on the quick flank to start this one out. Flavor, though, will be able to make it 3v3 to start. Jazzberry trades that right back, slides in, able to pick up 2, trying to go for the ace, runs out of ammo, and all she has to do is work together with Prisms. They should be able to spot and take out Flavor with ease.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's almost impossible if you're Savage to try to win that one, but I mean, what we've been seeing in this match, it wouldn't doubt if something crazy would have happened there, but Prisms working with her teammate, pinching the player, pitching Flavor inside of this B side, able to take her out right there. So 2-2 even as we are going to be switching sides again. I mean, a Sivers, how can you not watch her? She's been absolutely going off. I don't think she was able to make it towards the county of, so she was stopped 75 away. And maybe you kind of think that since you're so close to getting that score streak, maybe try to give you something that can benefit for her. Maybe throw a trophy system down, see if they throw any grenades into the hill. Would have been able to get you those little easy points to try to build that. But anyway, moving into this one, it's going to be a Sivers once again looking mid-map. Clammy going to draw first blood on Vendetta. Savage squad 3v3 right now at the start of this one.
And Sivers was able to spot Lola Bunny as she's rotated back around. She will be able to pick up Clammy. I mean, wasn't able to fully get behind the cover, but Flavor going to push up, picks up 1, makes it 1v2. You're going to have a hard time trying to pick up Prisms here, but Prisms going to go and get the bomb down. Jazzberry is there to back her up. Flavor going to play this one very slow. The bomb is now down, so the next 40 seconds, you can either pick up both or she might go down. Did she spot the player? Moves right in, is spotted, taken out by Prisms.
Flawless Nerdette played that one pretty good. I mean, they played it perfect. At the start, I saw both arrows looking one way, and that's obviously not what you want to do, especially in a bomb site like the B site. So they just kind of both looked each way. That way you have both any way that they can come covered. So good play there by Flawless Nerdette. I mean, something for Savage is going to be huge is getting that first blood. I mean, every single round in Search and Destroy, like, they are going to have to get that. I mean, the person that you really want to count on is the Sivers with a sniper. That's going to be your best bet to try to make that one happen. She is going to be in control of the bomb right now. We did see an EMP check coming from her as mid-map on Lolo Bunny. So favoring this A site. Once again, she is going to spot one player, not going to be able to take her out. And now it's going to be Nerdette. They're going to have the intel on where the Savage squad is.
Sivers World on her shoulder, still trying to pick up the first blood. But you see Jazzberry coming up on the flank for Flawless Nerdette. Able to spot one, picks up Clammy. They were able to read it, but not able to react in time. But Sivers going to clean that one up. Tries to escape with her life and somehow is still alive. So 2v3 makes that now 3v1. Sivers last one up for Savage.
She's going to come around once again, take out Vendetta. The sniper is going to come out, not going to be able to connect with that one. She's going to go ahead and back up to this rock area. So kinetic armor is available if she does want to use that. So a 2-on-1 situation. I mean, if you're the Nerdette squad right now, you don't really want to peek. You know she has a sniper. She's going to have the advantageous position. Trying to go for the 360 there, see if she's going to be able to spot anyone. But the B site is wide open. It's going to be a player coming from this hut. Is she going to be able to pick up this kill? Yes, she is. That is going to be on Lolo Bunny. So now a 1-on-1 situation with 11 seconds left. She might be able to get this bomb down this A site, but it looks like there might be a gunfight coming up.
Timing here is absolutely insane. Prism's right outside. She tries to pop the kinetic armor to save her. That one ends up being a waste. And now Flawless Nerdette up by 2 rounds.
That was not a smart use of the specialist that takes so long to get. I mean, she popped the kinetic armor, but she didn't even drop the bomb. Like, I don't know if maybe like she was like about to, but there's no way that anybody can agree that that was a good kinetic armor use. That could have been your saving grace in a Search and Destroy. It could have come down to a key gunfight, but burning it right there, not a smart choice. And I kind of brought up in the hard point, it's going to be the specialist ability, like the times that you use it can be crucial for your team. We're going to see an A stack coming in from the Savage squad, and Nerdette going to be favoring the B site. If they want to, they can push up and get right onto site and get this bomb down, then it would basically be the round win for them.
Really want to see how the kinetic armor play comes back to either to harm Savage at some point in this Search and Destroy. Sure, Jazzberry is going to be the closest one towards a lot of these Savage players, but it looks like some shots were traded. Lolo Bunny was able to shoot a couple of shots across the map, but look at Flavor right now. She's working her way all the way around. Might not be able to actually spot Prisms now. Looks like she's just flirting around here. Prism was able to take out Clammy. That gives up her position, and Flavor picks that one up. So now 2v2, and you see both Savage players are going to try and work and first take out Lolo Bunny.
I'm going to go ahead and jump up over with Sivers. She's having the game of her life right now, currently 12-4, 2-on-2 situation. Bomb is down. Let's see what they're going to be able to do. She's going to jump out of water. She's going to be able to go the one kill. No, but the player is going to be one shot. Flavor getting that intel, going forward, taking out both players. And just like that, it's going to be a Savage win for a round that looked like it should be Nerdette's favor 100%. That B-bomb site was open for so long. It was going to be Savage coming around on the flank, but I mean, it was a good coordinated push there that we saw from Savage. Sivers was jumping in the water, jumped up, was able to get that one player one shot, and that kind of opens up to Flavor being like, Flavor, you can push. One of them is one shot. You just have to win the second gunfight. Just like that, we're going to see Flavor take the round there for Savage and try to bring their way back into this one. I mean, 3 versus 4. Honestly, we keep bringing it up. I mean, we kind of have to. It's the dream right now if they were to like 3-0 this Flawless Nerdette squad.
This is sort of looking at that last play, some of the things we talked about in that first map, right? The positioning, the teamwork coming out on that side is absolutely insane. And then the communication, being able to spot the player and say, hey, you can easily take out this player. The other one's backing up. Now Sivers almost able to pick up the first blood. She's going to be punished. Vendetta opening things up early for Flawless Nerdette. Clammy pushes right around the corner as well. She meets the same fate. So it's all up to Flavor. She's able to trade a couple of shots. Does have the heat wave, able to pick up one. It's just a matter of divide and conquer here.
Oh, no.
Ends up using the heat wave. So that's 2 specialists that can absolutely change rounds for them, wasted in unfavorable situations.
I was sitting there too when she got that first kill. I was like, dude, I so hope you do not use your heat wave in such an impossible round to win. You don't need to use it now. If you would have the Heat Wave and think, like, Heat Wave and Kinetic Armor right now going to this last round, it's going to give you the advantage to maybe at least pull a round away from them. But the specialist use from Savage has been so bad in the Search and Destroy. I mean, I don't really want to go too in-depth with it as we're moving into possibly the final round for this one. Sivers slow down quite a bit, died 2 rounds in a row now without being able to pick up a kill. So Sniper going to be getting on a site. Sivers, the active camo play is actually going to be coming in. That is going to be Vendetta. I like that play on the B site. Another player from Savage to drop. That is going to be Flavor. And just like that, Jazzberry going to come in and clean that one up 6-3 in favor of Flawless Nerdette. And this is what we kind of expected in this series. We kind of expected in the hardpoint, but it didn't happen. I mean, coming to the Search and Destroy, we kind of fully expected it.
Beautiful specialist use, followed by a textbook round win there for Flawless Nerdette. The 6-3 Search and Destroy goes in their favor, tying the series up at 1 apiece. Now we focus our attention going forward. First things first, I want to see some better specialist use on the side of Savage than what we saw in that game number 2. Game number 1, they used it brilliantly for the most part, right? They were able to bring out those specialists in the bunker, be able to convert those trades into times. But here, when you really needed those round wins to go in your favor, the failed Kinetic Armor, the failed Heat Wave really came back to bite them. Those are 2 rounds that really they could just give up on those 2 rounds and say, hey, we're going to have these things in the future to work with to make sure we swing this game back in our favor. And I feel like you also need a better performance from Clammy in that one. She ends up going 2-8. She's able to trade and fade her life a little bit there to help out for the squad, but sometimes you need to pick up kills.
Oh, I mean, it goes without saying. I mean, Search and Destroy, just getting those couple kills if you're on the bottom of the list, maybe have like 1 kill, you literally just pick up a couple more kills, can really be a game changer for your team. But I mean, saw a great performance of Sivers in that one, with the Sniper especially. She was going off, but then we kind of saw her cool down. But the specialist use, I mean, Search and Destroy is all about capitalizing on other teams' mistakes, like making them pay every single time. And that's kind of what you saw. I mean, we saw the Kinetic Armor come in on a bomb plant, which is not a smart play, because chances are if you have the bomb and you're planning it and somebody is shooting at you and you pop Kinetic, you're not going to have enough time to get that bomb down to react. I mean, unless the person has really shaky shots or something like that, then that Heat Wave play could have maybe worked out. But I mean, by the time she did pop the Heat Wave, she was already one shot.
Yeah.
So it was kind of pointless to do that. So, and then that very last round, you saw the specialist come out for this Flawless Nerdette squad. And that camo play was the biggest game changer because it just allowed them to take over that B site. So, I mean, making them pay for the mistakes on that one.
So, looking at game number 3, I want to see, as we go back to another respawn, if Savage can do the same things they did in game number 1. It's going to be a lot harder on Infection and Uplink, but with some of the plays that we saw from them in that first game, the 2 and the 3 pieces, that converts into time where players for Flawless Nerdette are not on the map. And if you're Flawless Nerdette, you're coming off of a 15-0 Uplink loss in their last series about an hour ago, maybe now, against Orbit. That has to be somewhat in the back of their mind. They're going to have to move on from that one.
Oh, yeah, they definitely are. I mean, that's what it is about Call of Duty. You really can't hang your head on any match. You just got to keep going forward with it. I mean, you're going to have matches where you get blown out or matches that you win. So you just got to leave that in the past. You got to focus up on this one. But we are into the Banner Protect. Shiva was the first thing to go out. Then the Overclock. The Overdrive was then banned by Prisms. And we're going to see the Tacticals. We've seen that in all 3 games. Well, this is the 3rd game, but we've seen it in every game so far. Those Tacticals being put out. Rapid Fire and High Caliber are going to be the next to go out in this one as well. So it's going to be interesting to see. I know a lot of the defensive strategies that people like to do on Uplink, just to be sure, maybe get around like 4 EMPs, maybe not even that, just someone with 2 EMPs. They just really start to bomb them at the people, like over and over again. It really starts to rattle teams. I mean, I've seen it in the Pro League as well, where teams have been doing that to Rise. I mean, we saw how dominant of a team they could be in Uplink. People kind of started to figure out a way, like how they play and ways to stop them. So that's a play I really do like to see with the EMPs on Uplink. But Infection, it's going to be one of those maps where your setup is going to have to be crucial. So then obviously all the lethals did make it in as well. So maybe we might see some trophy systems. Not very usual we see trophy systems on Uplink, but always a possibility.
So one thing I'm going to be looking out for is we see the specialist draft going on, and we get an idea how both of these teams want to play this game. Miami ends up picking up the Scythe. Now, once again, they're not in the most favorable of positions. The Scythe definitely will help you out as you're trying to push over towards either side of the map, really. You can pull out the side, take players off of spawn, even if you go for rotation, go for the overextension in the middle map, try and play for the drone spawn. Again, you can pull out the side, convert those, pick up the drone, easy points on the board, right?
Yeah.
What I'm thinking now is maybe try and switch that for the Tempest, though. You need a bit more mobility in this situation.
Yeah, I mean, the Tempest is something, especially in uplink, we should be seeing in every single uplink that is played in Call of Duty. Because especially with that patch, it's going to one-shot everything. There is no excuse to have somebody on your team not use a Tempest. I mean, we brought up the Scythe from Clammy. Use a Tempest. It's going to benefit you so much more. I mean, you're down in the man count already, so just kind of think, like, the Scythe is really used for holding a certain position, taking players off when they're trying to break your setup. You have 3 people. Getting a setup is going to be hard as it is. It's going to be close to impossible in terms of, like, getting a good setup to block off spawns and everything, because that 4th person can be so crucial to having that setup. So, like you kind of said, don't agree with the Scythe. Would really have liked to see the Tempest go to that one as the players are editing their score streaks right now as we head into this. I don't believe the HCXD was banned from this one, so that can also come into play. So maybe look for some more flak jacket use than we've seen from other series.
Now, we've talked about infection uplink so much. Thing a lot of people like to focus on is when players are pushing towards that grandma's area, able to set up behind the tanks and then pick off players that are trying to rotate back to that uplink and on the other side, forcing the occasion, not going through the church all the time, not just straight at the middle of the map, but using the graveyard side to your advantage. You can pick up easy 1-point tosses up and over the wall. Just make sure no one's going for the interception, and then you can either go towards the church, wrap through that grave, and get the 2-point play up as well. Interesting to see how both teams are thinking. We've now loaded into the map. Game number 3, the series between Savage and Flawless Nerdette, tied at 1 apiece. We're set for a good 10 minutes of uplink.
Definitely. The way that you were talking about the graveyards, I like to call it the Golden State Warrior style of play. No dunks, just all jump shots. I mean, it can benefit you greatly as well. I mean, saw teams at the Season 2 finals who were just settling with 1-point plays, and they were able to win off of just 1-point tosses. So it's kind of all about those little plays that really show how good of an uplink player you are, not being greedy, going for those 1-point tosses. But for this one, I want to start on board with Prisms. Let's show her some love right now. Going to be running Hardwired Fast into Blast Suppressor. No first perk, and it's going to pay right there as the Semtex comes right over onto the tank. Just like that, we're going to see Nerdette have 2 players down. Make that 4.
Look at that. Wow, so just like that, now Savage has control of the satellite drone. The Sivir is going to be the lady in control. Going to try and set up for the dunk, and she's shut down right away. There's 1 player up for Flawless Nerdette. That's Vendetta. She goes for the reset, and you mentioned before playing it the Golden State Warriors style, going for the jump shots and not really always going for the dunks. That can really come back to harm you as well. As we saw in Stage 2 finals of the Call of Duty World League, there were some teams where it really showed they weren't practiced with those throws. Hopefully we don't see that type of performance here.
That was literally like a free throw. Like right there, how close she was to that. You should have settled for the 1-point play. And even Vendetta right there when she was able to pick up the drone, I didn't really like the reset. It was just a 1-on-1. The other player was all the way spawned up in the spawn. She could have maybe waited for her teammates to spawn up and made a push to that cliff side. But I mean, I completely get why she did end up going for that reset. So the drone still going to be positioned in the mid-map. It's going to be a Sivers with the AR trying to do something, but Lola the Bunny is going to be taking her out. 2 players down, going to be down for Savage. Make that 3. As they're going to be on the hunt with the drone. It actually did just get reset, so they're just kind of playing the site right now, trying to slay out before they do make a push. It's going to be Jazzberry going out with that uplink. No, she won't be able to get that, as Savage putting on a nice defensive stop right there, telling this Nerdette squad no.
That was a really good play from Flavor. She goes, picks up 1 inside of Broken, rotates, spots 2 in the middle of the map, and then it goes and picks those up as well. Clammy now uses the ball run to her advantage, gets the early points on the board for Savage. Flavor going to be the last one up. Her 2 teammates did fall. She does have the active camo to work with already. Prism's going to be pretty close. Might be able to spot her, take her out. That's an easy play on the side of Flawless Nerdette. They just need to convert these kills into positioning on the map and then into points.
Yep, definitely. Prism's going to be pushing up heavy on this right side. Going to be able to take out one. Actually going to be able to get the assist. 1 player going to be coming through this green hall. That is going to be Flavor. She picks up a huge 3-piece there, completely opening up the site. Now they can make a push. She does have active camo to work with as well. So pick up that drone. pop that kinetic, settle for the 1-point play if you absolutely have to. But she's going to get aggressive now. Picks up another one. Is she going to be able to pick up the second? The drone is going to be passed towards her. Now the kinetic is going to come into play. Let's see how she opts to play this one. Is she going to go for the 1-point toss? No, getting greedy, going for the 2. Just go for the 1. Paradox, I don't get it.
Oh my. I don't understand it as well. You think the active camo gives you so much to work with there. Maybe mistimed it, didn't think it was going to run out right there, but again, that's really not the spot you want to be in. That should be easy points on the board. This really should be 3-0 in favor of Savage, but a couple of choice plays, and now you see Flawless Ardette on the attack right back. It would eliminate Savage player one after one. Prism's going to be the lady in charge of the drone. She's on a 2 streak, and look at this. First player to challenge for Flawless or for Savage once again will be a Sivir. She's able to pick up one. Clammy picks up another as well. So now Prism's just has to convert this for the 1-point toss. They could go for the 2, but just like that, they settle for the smart play, know that they just need to get points on the board. We're sitting at a tie game.
We're going to see the overextension coming here from Savage. 2 players going to be positioned on this drone area. And like you said, for Savage, it could be 3-1 right now. Like, just if they just would have set up for 1-point tosses and all of those, drone is going to be tossed back into Savage's side of the playing field. Going to be thrown up for yards. So going to be 1 player on the tank. Is she going to be able to win this gunfight? Clammy does. 2 players down for Flawless Nerdette. Semtex going to be coming out thrown onto this Tomb side. Is she going to be able to take up another kill? Yes, she does. The Scythe getting closer and closer for Clammy. It's going to be interesting to see how she plays that once it is available to use. Drone going to be reset once again. And let's see if Nerdette's going to be able to capitalize. They took a while last time when they got that drone. The site was completely open. They could have made a push. And Savage was able to get set up and get that defensive stop. I mean, it did lead to 1-point play, but they were able to bring it down to just 2 flawless Nerdette players on that push.
Oh my, Sivers almost picks up the second. She's spotted, taken out. So now look at this. Flavor and Clammy on opposite sides of the map. Clammy ends up picking up 2, opens up the middle of the map for the Savage push. Looks like Nerdette is going to be here though. 4 flawless Nerdette slides in, grabs the drone, tries to advance it, meets the gun of a Sivers, and is taken out. Prisms though can line up the long 1-point toss. That one goes in. Flawless Nerdette look like they're going to be set up to have the lead going into the second half.
I'm going to keep bringing this up throughout this game, especially if Flawless Nerdette is able to win, as they're going for another 1-point toss. Just going textbook uplink right now, but they're not going to be able to get that one. I'm going to keep bringing it up because Savage could be
3-2
in this game. 3-2. And you just have the lead going into the side that's going to be actually better for your team as well. It's kind of mind-blowing that, I mean, the first play I think was, actually no, the second play definitely with the camo push. I think that was kind of the more, quote-unquote, like stupid play. I mean, both of them were such easy 1-point tosses. Like, you're no more than like 5 yards away. Just throw it in. Don't get greedy and go for the 2. I mean, 2s are kind of desperations unless it's completely wide open. You should never really go for the 2 unless you know you're going to be able to get through. Maybe get tagged up once or twice, but that's where the teamwork sort of comes in, getting those call-outs to see if there's players spawning on the uplink or not.
I think you use the active camo a second later. That's a dunk. If a Sivers tries to line up the 1-point toss, that's easy. 3 points on the board that they really should have. And now look at this. Prisms has pulled out the Tempest for Flawless Nerdette, and just like that, a Sivers takes her out with ease to start the second half. Flavor will be in control of the satellite jump for Savage, and there we go. The active camo popped, but okay, here's the problem I have with that. I like that she used the active camo. I have to question the position she was in when she used the active camo. You think players cannot see you, they can still hear you. You don't want to shoehorn yourself into a small opening like coming out of the door.
Lolo doing her best Voldemort impression, decloaking Harry as she's trying to go for that. Oh, that was great. I just really wanted to say that. I don't know why it came to mind. But it's going to be Flawless Nerdette with 3 down right here, and it's going to be Savage. They're going to be able to take control of mid-map. Now, if you do look at the mini-map, they are trying to go for like a sort of like spawn kill setup, but it's not really going to work if Flawless Nerdette decides to go for the overextension. But it's going to be Clammy going for the 1-point toss. Like we said, not getting greedy this time, and going to be able to get that one in. 2-2. Kinetic Armor going to be coming into play for Sivers right now. Going to turn around, trying to turn and burn on this player. She is not going to be able to take her out. But just like that, we're going to be able to see this Flawless Nerdette squad get some yardage with that drone. 1 player going to be positioned in Graveyard. That was an excellent defensive stop there by Clammy. She picks up another one on Jazzberry.
And I do still like the play out of Flawless Nerdette on there. They just have the forward pass comes in. It slows down the momentum that Savage has right now, right? They had a lot of kills go in their favor, and now they're just going to have to wait and keep control of the middle of the map, and you can just force that numbers advantage. And look at this, just like that, there's one player up for both sides, and who comes away with the drone is Flawless Nardette. Jazberry has it, she pops the kinetic armor. She has no teammates around her at all, goes for the hero play, and it was easy for Clammy to take her out.
Oh, yeah, it definitely was. I do not really agree with a kinetic armor play. Oh, but going into that, 2 scythe kills coming up big there. I don't believe in the kinetic armor play when you're carrying the drone. I feel like kinetic armor should be used more as like a brute sort of thing. You pop it, you're still able to get gunfights. I mean, obviously it can come into play and help you if you're the drone carrier and stuff like that. But the 2-point play going to be coming in from Flawless Nardette, and just like that, Savage, all 3 players going to be dropped. Vendetta right here looking to try to get this relay. Let's see what they're going to be able to do. Players from this Nardette squad did kind of get out of position. The 1-point toss trying to come in, not going to be able to connect on that one. So let's see what Clam is going to do with this. Going to go ahead and go for the reset, and this is going to be a big gunfight here to try to see who gets control. It's going to be Jazberry coming out on top.
They were so close to picking that one up. Sivers and Clammy need to slow this down a little bit. We've seen a lot of aggression coming out of them, but it has not helped so far. They've been spotted and taken out over and over again by Flawless Nardette, and just like that, the drone is back in their possession. Vendetta might want to reset the army here as 2 players are coming up off of the respawn. She's just going to go for the easy hop-up 1-point toss, a free throw, as you call it, in the first half. Get some more points on board for the side.
Definitely, it's going to be Prisms taking some shots right here. She does have the HCXD if she does decide to use that and try to push out, try to get that tank control for her squad. You see the Savage players starting to collapse onto this site. It's going to be Clammy with the AR. We're going to stay on board with her. It's going to be crucial to pick up this kill right there, but Vendetta going to be coming out on top of the Man of War. We're going to see the Sivers bring out the Man of War as well. She's going to be last alive, so she just needs to play this slow, not contest any stupid gunfights, just try to stay alive. She's going to be able to take one. Can she take out 2? No, she can't. The reload's going to stop her right there, and Prism's going to be able to take her out.
This game still isn't out of reach, right? Clammy ends up picking up 2, so that's huge. That allows them to push up the map a little bit more, but they need to be able to take out Prisms here as she's set up around this B stairs, around the sandbags area. There we go. She's spawned taken out, but the damage is already done. She takes out Clammy. So now Flavor and the Sivers have to work together. The active camo used, and this is what I talked about before. She used it in a bad situation the first time. This is the exact situation you want to use it. Coming around that corner, being high in the air or something, because you have so much space to work with. 2 of their players are stacked up. They're trying to find you. Buys her more than enough time to get those 2 points on the board. Now, all Savage need to do, get one more wave of players in their favor, line up the 1-point toss, and they force the overtime.
And it's going to be hard for them, obviously, being down in the count. Let's see if they're going to be able to do the impossible here. 2 players down for Flawless Nardette. Drone is going to be picked up. Kinetic armor is going to be ready too for a Sivers as she is pushing through this broken side. Flavor, those could be the 2 biggest kills of this entire game if they're able to get this. Pick up this last kill. You can go for the 2-point play. Pop Kinetic if you really feel like it. And that is exactly what's going to happen. It's going to be able to do it.
Oh.
They're going to jump it through it. And it surely is going to be Savage taking this one.
Oh my. One Flavor, absolute amazing slaying on that side, but look at this. Jasmine is trying to get away. She's going to be cut down. Savage, come out. Wow, the amazing play there towards the end. Win game number 3, and now, all right, bringing that one back just a little bit. Flavor led the way so much, and she led this way in slaying that entire game. Ends up going 39-20. Picks up 2 as they're starting the push. Ends up picking up 1 more as they're going around the corner, and then buys enough for a Sivers with the kinetic armor to get behind the tank. The easy dunk comes in. The game is won, and that's both respawns going to a Savage who's playing 3v4 in this series.
I don't want to speak on anything anymore. I'm so mind blown. In Respawn especially, if you're Flawless Nardette, how are you losing? I mean, don't get me wrong. Everything's been so close, but especially in uplink when it's Savage down a player, there's no reason that you should be losing, especially in an uplink. CTF, I'm going to be absolutely mind blown if Savage is going to be able to take this one as well.
Man, 6-5 in uplink, and you think Flawless Nardette, that's both their uplinks on the night. 115-0, a complete blowout. The other one comes down to the last minute 30, and they lose that one too. That has to be absolutely heartbreaking.
Like, what? Okay, I just want to get this because I don't know the standings. What is Flawless Nardette's record?
Flawless Nardette is currently 6-9 with a 21-29 map count. That's not adding the maps in this series so far.
Okay, and you said they're on a 3 losing streak, correct?
Yes.
What kind of slump is this? This is something it's
No idea.
You're losing to 3 people. I just kind of mind blown by that. I mean, the Search and Destroy I thought would definitely be a mode that Savage out of any other one they could take, because now we're moving into the game modes that are so team based, like orientated and stuff like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, obviously Search and Destroy with your tactics and everything, but you're moving into Uplink and CTF where you probably need the most communication out of any other game mode, and you end up taking that as well. That is just absolutely insane.
Man, I can't believe what we just saw there in that game number 3. Absolutely. And now we move on to a fringe CTF, where the ARs for Savage have been very good so far in this series. They've shown that they can slow the game down, and we know Sivers has been so aggressive throughout the entire series that she can keep that going as well when they need the aggression there. The next few Vandal Protects can give us a little bit of an idea as to what both of these teams are thinking in this one, but so far it's playing by the book just like games 1, 2, and 3.
Honestly, like the thing that we've been seeing, we see on this map especially, it kind of takes a little bit for submachine gun players to maybe get hot and like find their kind of groove. So that's what I'm kind of worried about with Flavor. I'm gonna just kind of highlight her, see how because she's been slaying so well with the VMP. So I'm wondering if you're Savage. It's really sad to say this. The other team is down a person. Are you going to really target and try to go for one player, try to take them out of the game in some way, shape, or form? But like you said, routine stuff so far. We're going to see the tacticals go as rapid fire. You're going to see high caliber to probably follow that one as well. Kinetic armor and overdrive. Overclock is going to go. So high caliber going to be probably your last one going into this. But I mean, the biggest thing, in my opinion, you saw Flavor. She picked up those 2 kills that led to that uplink, getting them the 2-point play. So that's just going to... She's going to be my player to watch. I wonder if she's going to be able to keep on carrying this momentum. I mean, they've been absolutely slaying this squad so bad. It's been ridiculous.
Now, I'm thinking, the kinetic armor taken out for game 4, right? What is the Sivers going to use in this one? Because she's rocked kinetic armor every time. Now she's going to switch it up, use active camo. Clammy has the Scythe. Active camo is a match on the other side. Does Flavor go and pick the Heat Wave? That's exactly what she's going to do. Thinking, does she go Heat Wave? Did they possibly go for the 2 weapons? But the way that they've played so far, they've been able to use 1 weapon, 2 abilities, and have used it well every single time. I didn't see really a need for the change there. I really want to see what Prism is able to do with the Annihilator in this one. High risk, high reward.
It's like you said, high risk, high reward. So it's going to be interesting to see how one plays out. I mean, from what we've been seeing from the Annihilator, anybody that brings it out into play lately, it hasn't been very good. I mean, you don't really see as many plays as you used to. It's sort of like a timing thing. Like, by the time you pull out the Annihilator, you kind of get taken out, so it burns out that specialist. But, I mean, Heat Wave, Active Camo, and Scythe are going to be, and the Annihilator obviously coming out for this Nerdette squad. Then the Scythe, Active Camo, and the Heat Wave for Savage as well. All the players from the Savage squad have their classes set. They're ready to go. Is we're going to be moving into the score streaks edit part. Don't believe any score streaks were taken out.
I don't think so either. I'm trying to remember. I'm pretty sure no, but the next 10 minutes, we can say that Savage got a win 3v4, and the game mode they dropped was Search and Destroy, the one that I really thought would go in their favor. Thinking This is an intense series so far. Like, the respawns actually come down to what? The final minute 30 each, really. Because we saw Savage had the great comeback in game 1. That's exactly what we were able to do in game number 3. You cannot let them pick up all 3 wins in respawns on comebacks if you're flawless Nerdette going into this game.
It's just insane. I mean, if they take the CTF as well, I mean, what is it? What kind of, especially after this match, what is going through your mind if you're flawless Nerdette?
You have to maintain composure, right? Like, you have to.
I don't get it. I'm so, like, confused by it. But we'll have to see how this one plays out. Is Savage going to be able to pull off the upset on this flawless Nerdette squad? Paradox, take us into the action.
All right, so I want to hop on board with Vendetta. Actually, she's going to have the M8A7. She's rocking the Scythe. I want to see what she's able to do off the break here. Looks like she's going to try and hold down the middle of the map. But look at the push now coming out on the side of Savage. Flavor was trying to get something taken out on Lola Bunny. That kill ends up being traded. And we talked about Savage getting on the aggression. Look like they want to come out guns blazing there. They were stopped by Flawless and Nerdette, and Jazzberry going to get the early flag pull away, worked away all the way through the barn, but she's being chased down very fast, and her teammates really can't get there to help her much. Vendetta was the only one here. She's ended up able to pick up one, but the flag's already been returned.
Yeah, it definitely has. I mean, we know how big train track control is going to be on this one. There's still going to be Flavor in the enemy base, going to be able to take out one. We talked about the slaying power from Flavor, what she's able to do with that VMP. Going to be one player chasing her from Silos. That is going to be Lolo Bunny. Let's see what she's going to be able to do. But no, it's actually going to be Vendetta taking her out. The flag return going to come in. So we've already seen 3 flag pulls in the first minute of this match. It's going to be Jazzberry, the flag carrier, once again taking his tracks. But somebody getting crafty in the enemy spawn. That is going to be Essivers.
This Jazzberry has one, Sivers has the other, and both of them will miss each other, going opposite sides of the map. So the first stalemate here might end up being broken by Flavor. She's worked her way all the way behind enemy lines. Not even a problem as she picks that one up, spots one more middle map, gets that as well. The flag first home for Savage. They have the lead 1-0 so far in the first half.
Up, and they're looking like they're going to get another flag pull. The only player you really need to worry about is going to be Prisms. See what she's going to be able to do here. Is she going to be able to get the stop? Heatwave going to come into play. Another specialist Zeus that could have maybe benefited you, but you're kind of on a solo run. You don't really want to pop it right there. I'd kind of just let them kill you, get that flag, return and regroup. Maybe use the Heatwave at a more crucial time, but it's going to be Clammy pushing up. Able to get a kill on this track side. It's going to be a 1-player in Little Room. That is going to be Prisms, which she's going to be able to do here, switching over to the VMP. The wall run is going to come in. I don't believe she hurt the player pushing up her tracks. Clammy going to be able to pick up one. Can she find a second? No, it's going to be Prism shutting her down just like that. Sivers left last alive in a 1 versus 3.
Now, Prisms really needed to pick that one up there because she missed the player going on the wall run. Ends up picking that one up. Now she's worked her way into barn. Almost connects, pick that up as well, but see Prism now cleans that one up. So that's 2 kills where pretty much probably should have had on the first engagement, but the kill goes down either way. That's time where Savage players are not on the board, and that's where Flawless and Nerdette can convert that time into position on the map. They have full control of this back barn where Prisms is. They're working their way up the middle of the map as well with Vendetta, but you think Prisms has to stay alive in this position if they really want to come away with the flag out here.
Definitely, it's going to be Clammy being taken out right there, so that does expose that tin side. There's going to be trying to make the defensive stop with the Man of War. It's going to be a counter UAV, going to be able to get Lightning Strike as well. Active Camo is also available. Jazzberry left alone. And honestly, if I had to break something down from so far in this Uplink series and then in the CTF series right now, the slaying power from Savage has just been better than this Nerdette squad. I mean, there's nothing to say about it. The defensive stops that Savage has had winning all these crucial gunfights, it allows them to get that positioning, push up. Then they've always had that one player, we saw it in the hardpoint as well, go on the flank and get crafty. That can really start to irritate a team, and that is exactly what it's doing right now. Savage playing defensive for the most part for this one. I mean, they did get the first flag cap of the game, but so far, ever since then, they've been playing so defensive. And look at Nerdette right now. You're up in the woman count, and you're playing so defensive. None of these players are moving. You have a player just positioned on silos, but that's kind of what it makes you do, right? You have Savage, somebody going on the flank all the time. You really need somebody to watch that flank, and that's what Jazzberry's doing, but they really need to push up, get aggressive, be confident in your gun skill, and win these gunfights.
Like, if you're going to play this CTF slow, you need to pretty much play a game of divide and conquer like you were able to in map number 2, right? Sort of have a search and destroy mentality going into this one. Prisms is able to spot one in the corner, and you cannot lose gunfights like that. Sivers absolutely takes her out. But, you know, they still have this position on the map. They're still putting the aggression there, but you think she's still alive in that situation. They can get the flag. That's a pull that's starting to work in their favor. On the other side, Savage once again come up with a strong defensive hold, and it's plays like this where you think they're flirting with danger. They clutch up, they pick up 2 or the 3 that they need to really stop the push coming from Flawless and Nerdette, and then they're able to start to push up the map once again. They're getting the map control, and it's acting like sort of a safety blanket for them, right? They're losing a wave of players sometimes, and then they're coming right back, making the huge defensive play, and making sure Flawless and Nerdette can't get any points on the board.
And look at the specialist play there by Sivers. She just popped her active camo for no apparent reason. The final 10 seconds of the match, where maybe it's going to be able to get you one more kill. She's so close to getting her streak, so it's crucial she stayed alive right there because she's kind of playing the EU style of CTF. She's had more engagements than like a Swanee would have, but she's just been this entire time just camping back on that pickup truck. And right now, probably a lot what you're going to see from her is maybe get aggressive at the start, see if they can maybe get one more flagpole from it. You're going to see her sitting back on the train behind those boxes on that head glitch to try to make that work for her. And it's going to be crucial. She's able to lock up some more of those streaks. It could be over for this this Nerdette squad.
I think she's already able to get a counter UAV and a lightning strike. If she pulls out the Wraith here, that really puts Flawless and Nerdette in a bad spot. They're already down 1-0, and both teams trying to get control of the middle of the map, and what a spot from Prisms. Now she has the Annihilator and an HCXD. Miami's going to open things up by taking out Jazzberry, but you think maybe pull out the HCXD here, try and force this player for Savage back. That's the Sivers. Cleans her up and moving even closer towards the... Actually, nope. I didn't even see the count. She has the Wraith now. So this is going to be very hard for Flawless and Nerdette to even try and use parts of the map here.
Yes. In such an open map where if you have a Wraith in the sky, it's just really gonna come down to how fast can Nerdette get this down. 3 players just went down for Flawless and Nerdette, and half these players on Savage just didn't really care. I mean, they just kind of camped back a little. You're gonna see Flavor getting pretty aggressive here, and I mean that's what you can really do. I mean, you get them down. If you want to play defensive, go ahead. Just don't turtle your base, and they're really not turtling. They have players spread out in each lane of the map that you really need to cover, and a Sivers being the AR beast for this squad right now. She's been doing work all game. 13-1, 12 kill streak. Has a Wraith. Heatwave play coming in from Lola Bunny. Going to be taken out after popping it as well.
And on the side, okay, we've spent a lot of time talking about the special shoes between both of these teams. Flawless and Nerdette were in a situation. They pushed all the way up through 10. Prisms ends up bringing out the Annihilator, as we do see the amazing shoot from Sivers finally ending there. She pulls out the Annihilator inside of 10, not able to pick up the kill on top Grannies. So the Annihilator completely wasted there. She does still have this HDXD, and now the Wraith's coming out. You think 3 minutes and 10 seconds left. Flawless and Nerdette going to try and get the run back, but it's going to be really hard for Vendetta. Why are you going L with the Wraith in the sky?
That run there was terrible. Take it tracks to where the Wraith can't get you and try to let your teams just try to do something to that Wraith. But as you're just going to see now, the kill feed's just going to be lighting up with all these Flawless Nerdette players, and they've just kind of pushed into dub, and that's exactly what you want. That's what the Wraith is for. Clammy going to go ahead and pull this one. She does have the slice, so she will be slowed down as she's trying to make this flag run. Doesn't even matter. It is going to be another cap for Savage. They're going to go up 2-0 down the woman count, Paradox. I can't stress this enough. How are you losing this if you're Flawless Nerdette?
You think the Wraith completely cuts out any rotation Flawless Nerdette can make, right? They can't go through dub. The Wraith's watching the middle of the map. They try and push all the way up through 10. You have a Sivers and Flavor really threatening there with their guns, and Clammy has the Scythe. Try and rotate to her, you're not even going to make it because that thing's in the sky. Now Sivers has worked her way. This is the furthest we've seen her really push up the map the entire time. She's now running the flag all the way back. They have Flavor just watching the push through 10. She's going to be able to easily connect with this one. Prism's not even looking the way, and then she ends up picking up 2.
Like I said, just the absolute gun skill and the slaying from Savage has kept them in every single series that we've seen them play. That's honestly it. They don't really have too much strategy. I mean, as you do look at the mini-map, once the players get into position, they're kind of watching each lane for CTF, and that's always good, and they're able to win those gunfights. But, I mean, getting that position and not having gun skill is like 2 completely different things. I mean, if you're in position, you don't have very good gun skill, you're going to be taken every time you set up, it's going to be broke. But the gunfight going down right now, 10, is going to be Prisms being taken out. Once again, gun skill coming in 3-0. The only real thing you can do right now, the funny thing is I want to bring up, the Wraith wasn't even shot down. The Wraith's time was just up and it flew out of the map. And that's because I saw people on Flawless and Nerdette trying to shoot it down, but they weren't able to. They kept getting taken out. Lightning Strike going to come into Sivers, taking out Vendetta, and one player getting sneaky on the flag once again. That is going to be Flavor. She does have the E-Wave as well, but there's going to be one player on track. Should be able to get this stop, and if she doesn't, it's going to be absolutely insane. And Prisms, what are you doing? Oh my goodness.
Can't believe it. And then a Sivers dies 105 away from another Wraith, but another flag goes in. That's 4-0 with 45 seconds left. Savage shows up and takes all 3 respawns against Flawless Nerdette down in the woman count. I cannot believe what we've seen over these past 4 maps.
I am honestly I've casted, me and you both, we've casted so much Call of Duty like throughout our entire career. I have never, ever seen anything like this in all of my casting. I've seen some upsets, right? But this is 3 versus 4, and they took the series pretty convincing. Actually, not convincingly. Every game was pretty close. The Search and Destroy was the furthest thing that was kind of separated. It was a 6-3, and that went in favor of Nerdet. But everything else, the CTF wasn't close at all. It was just absolute dominance by Savage the entire match. The uplink was super close, but it's just absolutely insane. I've never seen anything like this.
Well, the 4-0 win in Capture the Flag for Savage. That puts them at 11-5 here in the Female Pro League. And Flawless Nerdet drops down to 6-10. That's 2 losses on the night, and that losing streak has now increased to 4.
Oh my goodness. This is like the perfect time to get yourself out of a slump as well, and just kind of get you not on the losing streak anymore. Just get that 1 win streak, start fresh. But Savage had other plans for Flawless Nerdet. They were able to absolutely just outslay them and everything. I mean, we saw 60 Bomb get very, very close by Flavor. I think it was at 59 kills actually in that hard point. But everybody else on the team, dude, just they're all doing their part. And like I said, the biggest thing that we can just take away from all these series, maybe apart from the Search and Destroy, was just the slaying power. 30-6 from a Sivers. And she, like we said, was just kind of playing like the EU style. In that first half, she was just didn't leave the base, was 10-1. Into that second half, we saw a little bit of like a camping play style, but then we saw her start to push up, get aggressive, get very, very confident with that Man of War. And majority of her kills came from tracks as well. So it's just kind of those players, just no sort of strategy, just kind of pushing in, piling in one by one, just being taken out.
Well, we just saw one of the absolutely amazing performance by the entire Savage Squad and the Sivers in that game. Coming up next, you get to see Riot and Dream Crazy, another very, very talented player here in the Female Pro League, go up against Virtue. That series coming up after this. Stay tuned.
Thinking about us more, it's these bright lights that put me in the days, and I can't stop but think about the way that you move around up and down on that stage. It's your future vibes. Bright lights that put me in a trance, so I feel like I can do it all. It's a good life that I really want. It's those future vibes. I got those future vibes.
Welcome, guys, to the Female Pro League stream here. I am with Max, and we've got a fantastic series here for you guys, Virtue versus Riot. And, of course, you guys just saw on stream Savage winning 3v4, which I got to watch, you know, in the behind the curtains here. But that was a pretty exciting series. I don't know if you got to see that, Max.
No, I didn't know. I was actually doing something, but now I'm here, so we can watch these two teams play, and I won't miss on any of that action.
Yeah, so Evac Hardpoint's going to be your first map of this best of 5, Virtue versus Riot. And Virtue is then going to play strictly business for the final match of the night. And of course, the standings being Riot in first place and Virtue, I think, is in 7th or something like that. Anyway, Banner Protects are all loaded up for you guys, slowly but surely getting there. Wolf Knight's going to start off with an interesting ban on the fast hands. Man of War is going to be taken out there by Classic Cruise. And then along with your usual tacticals and rapid fire, high caliber, things like that.
Interesting to see this fast hands ban first. A lot of these teams aren't doing that. That's also going to follow with the stock ban, so that's going to be definitely switch things up here. This evac hardpoint, so our sub players aren't going to be able to strafe around and aiming in quicker, and switching guns will be a lot slower for that AR player trying to switch to a pistol. We see the normal high cal ban as well. Man of War, pretty average. Probably see a stun to match the flash, but we don't. We see a grip ban. So this is right away. We see 3 very unusual bans here: grip, stock, and fast hands.
Now, I didn't get to see who finally banned the grip, but the fast hands and the stock coming from Riot, so they're really trying to throw off Virtue. And, you know, as a team, how often do you really practice without fast hand, stock, or grip? That's really going to screw with, of course, your gun skill and overall your aiming, your movement around the map, and then what you're going to actually equip on the weapons. So, Max, in a player's perspective, what do you put on your gun if you don't have fast hand, stock, or grip?
If you don't have fast hand, stock, or grip, see, when I see no grip, I usually put on laser sight. That's probably the more accurate thing, since when you don't have to aim in, it can be more of a hip fire, so it'll be more accurate hip fire. Laser sight, you'll probably see more fast mags as well, a lot more reloading, since you're gonna be missing a lot more shots without that grip, since a lot of these teams aren't gonna be used to it. You can't really outmatch fast hands. It's gonna be a lot slower pace because of that, because you can't just go sprinting around the map. You won't be able to aim in as fast. So it's definitely gonna lower the pace of the game. Teams are gonna have to work a lot more together for their breaks, because they're not gonna have as many chances. There won't be as much individual plays being able to break, since the gameplay will be so slow. The stock is pretty usual. When I see a stock ban, I usually just put on more, it's going to be laser sight again. Yeah, laser sight's kind of more of the counter when you ban those. If you don't have laser sight in your gun, I don't know, it's pretty useless.
Yeah, I agree. And now the specialists are all loaded up as well. Heat Wave on both sides, Scythe as well, Lethal Lady, and Noob Hero. The active camo out of Emmys and Bossy. And the ones that stand out here are Breenated with the Tempest and Queen Selly with the Vision Pulse. So, of course, Vision Pulse, in case you don't know, it's a little bit more of an information acquiring specialist. Can see through walls, and you'll be able to ping players on the map, or at least in your close vicinity, but you also get pinged in on the map to trade that off. Breenade is going to have the Tempest, so obviously a kill acquiring specialist, but it has that spread ability. So if you hit one player, another player is close by, will able to possibly get another kill, even some multi kills with it as well. So you got a weapon versus an information acquiring specialist. Max, what are your opinion on that?
Vision Pulse versus a killing specialist. Vision Pulse is going to come in a big handy, especially with the slower gameplay, like I mentioned earlier. So that I completely agree with right there with her. I like that play. The Tempest is going to be huge, because it's going to definitely lock down the corners of the map when used, make that chain happen. Scythe, not as big as this map. I'd like to see a Purifier maybe. I know Kinetic was banned, so that's not going to be in play. I like the Vision Pulse. I just would rather see maybe Lady run a Tempest or a Purifier, and then New Hero use, I'd like to see a Purifier. It's really good on this map. You know how to use it, especially on that second hill, where you could pre-fire either the plat or the bottom dark room.
Yeah, so Evac Hardpoint is going to be loading up shortly in this first map of the best of 5, Riot versus Virtue. So leave your predictions in the chat. Of course, it's hard to deny the standings of Riot being in first place. I think they're 15-1, only having one loss in the whole league. I don't remember who it was to in Virtue. Don't know what their standings are, but they're trailing behind on the standings. So obviously, just by looking at the numbers on paper, you'd have to give the edge to Riot. And of course, just how well they dominated in Season 1. I think they did win Season 1 together with this roster. And of course, Virtue having a different roster from Season 1, but some very, very good individual players along with that. But loading up this map, let's see what everyone is equipping so far. So the Man of War being out of the game, you're going to see M8 as your AR of choice by Breenated on the side of Virtue. And the Emmys with the, or sorry, that's Lethal Lady with the M8 as well. And Queen Sully's going to have that Kuda for that medium range attack. So now Riot are going to have that helipad spawn going into the middle of the map for the first hill. Let's see how Virtue are going to combat this.
We're going to have Emmys in the hill. She's able to pick off one going on the wall, and that's going to be 2 down for Riot. Trying to go for the third. That's 3 down. Bossy's going to be the remaining member for Virtue, but quickly gets taken down here. Riot does have full control of this hill, and Emmy's going to be pushing up that dark corridor, trying to cut off the map for her team. Only one player in the hill. That's going to be Selly, who gets stunned. Since stuns are allowed, we're going to notice that some of these players aren't going to be running pack math. And it's going to come into a big play if Virtue is all running it. But it looks like there's only one there, and that's going to be Emmys. Just able to get 2 and hold that hill for her team right here as Riot's going to go up 15-0 right in the beginning. And Emmy's still alive, playing for those streaks. Your mic's muted. Jen, your mic's muted.
Oh, my mic got muted. I apologize, guys. Anyway, like you did note earlier, the concussions were allowed in the Banner Protect, so Tac Mask is going to be a very important perk to have. But the flashbangs were taken out, so you only have to worry about one, as Riot are going to start off with a dominating lead of 40 points.
Yep, Queen Sully, last one in the hill. We see that all of Riot is getting these cuts very well. One's holding that middle map. That's going to be Wolfenite, but she does get picked off. That's going to be 3 down for Virtue as Riot is in the back of the spawns. Here comes our first points for Virtue. If they 3 in the hill, Riot trying to break it. Breenated and Bozzy lost ones in the hill, and Lethal Lady able to get 1 as they're all going to flood down that top hill. New hero in the hill with Breenated as they hold down this hill and get some points finally on the board.
Awesome. Emmy's able to pick up a 2-piece with the HTXC. Classic Cruise needs to defend the hill, throws out a stun, able to get 1 kill. Just trying to watch where this anchor position is from. 15 seconds left. You see the orange arrows from Riot already on New Hill. Bossy was trying to attack that one. She gets taken out, but Breenated is the last one left. At least having that AR in hand should be good for these long-range gunfights, but not against 3 players as she does get taken down. So Classic Cruise now waiting patiently for her team to spawn up. She needs just to work on these individual picks, able to pick up 1 and not the second one, as Riot already starting off with some intro points into this New Hill.
And Riot, great plays going for that early rotation on our so-called money hill as they all have the 30-point lead, waiting for the Virtue to try and make a play. There is one going for that wall, and it's going to be Classy Cruz, who's trying to get the pick, but Bozzy's going to clean her up, looking for more in the hill. Doesn't seem to spot any, just trying to get that contest, but Wolfenite and enemies closely, very quickly peeling them off that hill. Queen Sully getting the trade from her teammate, and Riot does have full control of this hill at this time, as members of Virtue are spawning completely out here with one member on the flank right now, but she does not have Blast Buster, so she's easily sitting on the minimap, trying to get that AR in the back. Virtue needs to quickly rotate and get back together on this New Hill before Riot gets a lead, unable for them to come back.
Yeah, and the HTXC obviously making through the Banner Protect has really allowed Emmys to get quite a few kills with it, especially not that time. Of course, they had Flak Jacket for one of those players. I think Virtue only have 2 players with Flak Jacket on, so they need to be wary of course, many HTXDs that could be acquired. Emmy's currently 17 and 8. I think she's gotten 2 or 3 so far. Wolf Knight also having the counter UAV 25 off the Lightning. She's on a 4 streak, just trying to spread around the hill, trying to give that initial control to Riot. So early points going to them, a 70-point differential in favor of Riot as Wolf Knight just earned her Lightning Strike.
Very good team shooting going on by Riot, allowing them to keep control of this hill for most of the time. Lethal Lady able to get the remaining member in the hill as all of Virtue is going to be spawning out to dark. 30 seconds on this hill. They're going to decide if they want to push this 1 or 2 more times here, as there's only 1 member in that hill as the other players of Riot are spawning up. Now looks like 2 Wolf Knight and Emmys as they do get picked off by Noob Hero. Able to get 2 in that hill alone. 18 seconds left, trying to get this scrap, but Lethal Lady's there to get that trade, and it looks like Classic Cruise is there to try and get that scrap. Virtue trying to get back into this with the remaining scrap time, but Riot looks like they're on the rotation. Virtue spawning out once again, not able to get spawns for any of these hills as Riot playing very close together as what's that? The Vision Pulse? As that Vision Pulse comes in, Virtue's going to know Riot's going to know where all the Virtue players are.
Yeah, that was a great use of the specialist by Sully. The Vision Pulse able to just tag up, I think, all 3 or 4 members from Virtue coming through that front door, able to call out to her team, and I think they were able to clear them out pretty handily. Now in the first, we're now back into the middle of the hill, 100-point differential in favor of Riot. Sully and a couple other players of Riot are going to go down. It's Bossy with a nice 2-piece, make that a 3, as she did get traded out quickly, but having that counter UAV is going to come in useful later, as Wolf Knight now on a 4 streak. She's going to be watching this front door. Counter UAV in play for Virtue. But 20 seconds left in this first cell. You're seeing the blue arrows from Virtue setting up for this next kitchen or helipad spawn, and Wolf Knight earning herself the Cerberus and the Lightning Strike. It's going to be quite troublesome for Virtue coming up into the next hills.
And Virtue trying to get these early rotations. Important note, Emmy's 23 and 12 with that sub, able to get full control of this map for her team. A lot of these breaks are coming from her. She's trying to go for another one, but does get picked up by Noob Hero in the spawn, in the hill. Sorry, Noob Hero, the only one in the hills. Riot trying to get these spawns. As Cerberus is inbound. Looks like Lethal Lady and her teammate Wolf Knight trying to get this break, as the teammates are going to be pushing from the front and back. They should be able to get this. Heat Wave comes in. They're able to get one. Another Heat Wave comes in from Virtue. The only one player left that's greenaded. Here comes the Tempest as it's connecting, but she is able to get picked off. The Scythe is inbound for Noob Hero, trying to get some players who are going to be challenging that. The RC gets destroyed. One player in the hill, and here comes the Cerberus, able to try and save the day. Emmy's picking off that Scythe player. It looks like we're just going to have trades back and forth on this hill as Riot takes the 181 to 57 point lead.
Classic Cruise is trying to take out that Cerberus, but fantastic place of where to spawn, and that's where all the specialists started coming out. We saw Noob Hero with the Scythe, and then just bloodbath absolutely in that kitchen hill, but the Cerberus was able to put up a pretty good defense there for Riot, as they're able to get the last bit of scrap time almost at the 200 point mark, so 150 plus differential in favor of Riot. But Virtue having those early spawns here, they just have to try and contest this hill against, I think that was Selly. No team kills going on quite yet, as Noob Hero just shot her teammate a little bit, but now they're going to have some good intro points here into this hill. They just need to pick off Riot from rotation. And
Riot got a really good split spawn for them. They're able to pinch this hill if they play it right. Selly's going to be one in the hill as she waits for her teammates to try and come help her. This one player on that bottom wall run area, that player does back off though. Vision Pulse does come in, so she's going to know where these players are. It looks like Virtue's going to be spawning completely out near that middle side pillar. They're trying to break this. HBK coming in, but Lethal 80 able to shut her down. That Cerberus is also in the hill here as Riot just shutting down all of those Virtue players as they're spawning all the way Old Hill. Virtue's going to have to make a quick rotation here if they want to have any chance of coming back. Only 25 points needed left for Riot to end this game here, as Virtue just looks like it's their last leg.
Yeah, last leg indeed. Just Classic Cruise not having the best game here, 8 and 20. If she would step it up, I think this would be a lot more of a closer game. Emmy's now currently on the hill, a minute and a half of hill time for herself, along with Selly and Wolf Knight, who are trading time and the objective time quite well in between themselves. Emmy's picking up a kill here, earning herself the HCXD, and Riot doing a good job of not even letting Virtue step onto the hill, as finally we do hit the 250 to 71 mark in favor of Riot. And of course, looking at the scoreboard here, you see Emmys with the most amount of kills with 30 and 17, a minute and 40 of hill time, along with 8 defense. On the side of Virtue, you have Bossy with 16 and 24 with the 5 defense as well.
It looks like Virtue just got completely outslayed there. Not much for them to do. When I was watching, I looked a little confused on these rotations. They really know how to hold it. Looks like the communication was a little bit off, too. I mean, on top of individual slaying, you really didn't see much team shooting coming from Virtue. Kind of just more individual pushes. One player baited another, and it kind of just all added up in the end as Riot was able to play completely together, get those spawns together, push together, pinch together, and it really just showed at the end of the map as it's 250 to 71. Virtue just completely out of that hard point.
Yeah, so we're going to hit a quick intermission before we load up this next S&D map. Hosts are going to be switching up, so we'll be right back after this quick break.
fell below, seen you're pretty. Soon as you came in that door, I just wanted you. Got a set for us to roll. Married to the money, introduced him to my stove. Showed him how to whip and now we're remixing for low. Get my track in, let him hit the bando. We be counting up, watch our fucking bands go. We just set it go, talking matching Lambos. Got 50, 60 grand, 500 grams gold. Man, I swear we love him, how we whips the flag up. At the strip club, we been letting bands go. Everybody eating, we just cutting bands up. In love with the money, I ain't never letting go. And I get high on my baby. I just let them all get and fly on my baby, yeah. And I can ride on my baby. I be in the kitchen cooking pies with my baby, yeah. And I can ride on my baby. I try to get it with the bando.
I done been through a whole lot. Trial, tribulation, but I know God. Said they wanna put me in a bow tie. Pray that the holy waters don't book dry. So look around me. So many motherfuckers won't doubt me. They know that they can never doubt me. Found out a dirty double me, but they found me. And I love myself. Yeah, I love myself. Yeah, I love myself. I love myself. Y'all don't duck in rotation. I duck these professions. Most of these rock on probation. Friends of reality with me. your steam in the face of the beast. Got to fall down the wind for rock. Now the strong and used to smile. I love myself. I went to war last night. With the automatic weapon, don't nobody call a medic. I'ma do it till I get it right. Yeah. I went to war last night. I've been dealing with depression ever since an adolescent. I can never hear the blessing. I can never see the message. I can never take the lead. I can never bother read. I'm a negative and negative. I know you late me. And it's everything I'm hoping that I beat your speed. Then I wanna do a minute. Lay your body in the stream. I'm money in the ceiling. And my mama know I'm playing. Get my story to the children. And I listen to the read. And the glory to the feeling. And the holy all sin. It's in enough. Make a motherfucker scream. I love myself.
Welcome back, guys, to the Female Pro League stream. Sorry for the slight delay. We are back with map number 2, Riot versus Virtue. Of course, Riot are up 1-0 in the series after a dominating 250-71 on Hardpoint. And now, on Infection, Search and Destroy, the banner protects are slowly loading up as Queen Sally is going to start off with a ban on the Overkill.
Yep, and pretty normal. Bans off the rip. Overkill is definitely going to be out. That's always what I ban in CWL, S&D. That Overkill can cause quite a ruckus, especially with a long-range weapon like a sniper and a sub. It can add quite a dominance pressure, but luckily we will not be seeing that in this game. The active camo and concussion as well, so we'll probably see a flash with that, and probably maybe that thermal ban, but we'll see how these players elect to choose.
I mean, with that active camo out, that's pretty huge. You can sneak around the map pretty easily with the active camo and can get in these really bad positions, even go on a crazy flank, or even just win these one-on-one engagements, which are so important to S&D as the game only grants you one life in these certain types of game modes. HEXD is going to be taken out this time around as it was allowed in map number 1. Kinetic Armor also making its way out just like map number 1, but is the Flashbang going to follow as well? And Rapid Fire is the one after that. Flashbang should be the last one left. Of course, concussions were used in map number 1, and I thought it really threw off Virtue. And both teams used it, but I really thought Virtue were really thrown off in that map number 1. You know, not having any stock, no fast hands, no any of these perks, and then concussions in the game really threw off both teams. But now Flashbang was the last one taken out as we do load the specialist draft.
And RC's out of the picture as well, so we're not going to see those very quick kill streaks. It's going to be more of a takes more time to get these to get their score streaks now that we don't have something 400. The dart's going to be the closest one at 600. But as we start this, we're going to see the matched glitch from Sully and Breenated. Okay, I guess that makes more sense since active camo was banned. Hopefully we'll see some vision pulse. Don't believe maybe Connect was banned, so Psychosis will match that. We'll see some Heat Wave as well. It looks like just matches off the break. But for S&D here, we're going to move in this Infection S&D, so we're going to want to see these sub-players controlling that B site on that defensive end. If you have control of that B site, then you almost always win your gunfights. You're going to win that defensive round, as long as your player middle as well is playing very well. But we see a Rejack here,
Rejack, very interesting specialist. It's going to be the last pick out of Classic Crews. Wolfenite picking up that Heat Wave, and the Overdrive being the one sticking out as well against the Rejack. So Overdrive and Rejack, like I said, the one sticking out here, but Rejack grants you a second life here on Search and Destroy, so can be pretty devastating if you're on these like one-on-one engagements. The other person's like kind of on their last bullet, on their last life, and the other person comes back, could possibly win that gunfight. But if you're maybe in a 2v1 situation and you reject, you could be just doubling the other team's points by just giving them 2 more kills. Overdrive is one of my favorites to use on S&D, can really acquire you a position to pick up a first blood, or can really throw off the other team as you're just changing positions really quickly around the map, so you could get the defuse maybe, or go for these crazy rotations, or pick up the first blood at the beginning of the round. But that reject, I'm really interested to see how Classic Cruise is going to use that.
Yeah, we did see it used in that 100 L's versus Optic match. Clever wordplay, right? I think it was like 3 weeks ago, 1 month ago, it was a bunch of crazy stuff was used. So if she uses in the right play, maybe like rep the break, if she gets picked and she just rejects up and able to like team shoot with her teammates, it could be used very well. So we'll have to see how she elects to use that. We're going to want to see more team shooting in this S&D from Virtue. Really didn't see them work very together in that hardpoint. You saw a lot of just individual heads trying to bait each other. And if they continue to play like that, especially in this S&D map, it's going to cause them a lot of problems. Team baiting instead of team shooting is what really loses you these respawn and S&D type game modes.
Yeah, so here in the S&D, no weapons were really targeted here. So the Shiva, the MA, and anything is on the board. Of course, in the map number 1, we saw Riot take out, I think it was Riot that took out the, that's Classic Cruise that took out the Man of War against Riot. So now they're going to leave it in the game. Let's see if Riot is going to be picking that up. So I think that was Lethal Lady first map that played mostly the AR, at least off the break, picked up the AR, along with the 3 subs of the other team. And then Breenade is also the AR on Virtue, of course. They're probably going to rotate that role around. Maybe have some more AR players up on Infection S&D. We're going to have to see how this is set up on offense and defense. But finally, S&D is all loaded up. Riot are up 1-0 in the series. Can they make this a 2-0, or Virtue, can they answer back?
Yeah, I'm seeing Virtue losing this S&D if they continue how they were in that hard point. But who knows? They could bring it quite around and see if they can mess up a few things for this Riot squad. We're going to start in this S&D. We're not going to see that grip and stock ban and and fast hands. So we're going to see normal classes here. We're going to see VMP long barrel, grip, quick draw, another VMP. 2 ARs, and looks like a sniper rifle on the side of Virtue. I like this. It's going to be ballsy. So Overkill was banned. He's going to have that pistol attachment, which is going to be the L card there, and they're going to be playing on this defensive end by Virtue. Ballsy's going to have that sniper rifle out. She was going to go B Street, but Alexa changes. She's trying to go for that snipe over the rock. Doesn't spot any of those players. Looks like one down right off the bat for that Riot squad. Breenade answering right back.
And now Riot and friends have entered the B site. 3 versus 2 situation. Virtue not having the man advantage here. Queen Sally currently getting the bomb down, but at least Bossy and Classic Cruise are sort of together. Bossy having that sniper, and only the L car is going to leave her in a sticky situation and not be able to attack these close range quarters quite like, Classic Cruise also has an AR in hand, so they're going to have a tricky time trying to get really up close to this bomb site. They got to work for picks here with only 30 seconds left. Time is not in their favor, so a lot of pressure on their shoulders how they're going to attack this, but Riot are not really, trying to challenging anything crazy here. Queen Sally has spotted both players, so she just needs to, play her life and just play a little bit defensively here.
Yeah, and just like you said, we're going to see 2 down, Riot, only 1 player left, and that's going to be Lethal Lady getting that bomb down and winning the round for her team. Virtue not able to close it out as they were able to make it to a 2v1 very late into the round, and Riot playing spectacular there, able to hold 1 member up and play the time right. So, Virtue showed some sign of life there at the end. They just got to make a little more aggressive pushes there, and we'll see what they can do on this offensive end as we're going to switch Riot winning that first offensive round.
Yeah, Riot doing a good job of playing the time here. Of course, 1 kill each, minus Sally with no kills there. And everybody on Virtue having kills except Noob Hero. So now, Riot being on the defensive side, let's see what Virtue can do. Breenade is going to be your objective player for the squad. Rocking the VMP, going towards this middle map. So now your usual right side of the map be pushed. So she has to be careful here. Getting EMP'd, has 2 players on the other side of the stairs. She able to pick up 1? No, she does get baited there a little bit as 4 versus 2 situation. Make that Bossy the last player left as Wolf Knight picks up a fantastic 2-piece.
And Wolf Knight getting quite aggressive. They're able to basically turn on that player and get 3 that round. Wolf Knight showing she's not playing around. She's got that fire in her shot. She's going and pushing up and taking up 3 of those Virtue players that round. Right, taking that commanding 2-0 lead off the break, showing they're not to be messed with. This Virtue squad isn't showing any signs of life.
Yeah, Wolf Knight currently 4-1. That was a nice 2-piece out of her. Bossy was able to get a pretty nice quick scope there before she did drop her life there in the second round. Now Riot is back on offense, Virtue on defense. Let's see what Riot can do now on the offense. He had a pretty successful first offensive round. Wolf Knight is going to be your objective player for the squad, heading towards the B-bomb site. They're going to be met by Bossy, which actually has the VMP, not the sniper in hand this time. So I like how she's switching things up, but they completely left the B site open, so not having someone maybe sitting on the other bomb site or even on stairs trying to cover the bomb site. So Wolf Knight could be getting the bomb down. She's got to do it soon, as she did just drop Selly.
And Classic Cruz playing very slow, able to get Queen Selly off that tank. Good plays by her. There's 3 members of Riot left. Looks like they're waiting for Virtue to make one of those plays. They spot another player in B as they pick off one. Wolf Knight trying to get that pick, but Breenade able to clean her up on that bomb. Heglitch is a dangerous spot to be if they can't pop her off it. This is a very powerful spot on that defensive end, but looks like Riot's going to answer back and make it a 2v2 situation. Emmy's and Lethal Lady versus Breenade and Bozzy as they're going to be on that bomb site. There's 2 in mid. Looks like Bozzy's going to rotate back with that sub with 28 seconds left. Riot's going to have to make a play sooner than later. Emmy's does have control of that B bomb site, spotting a player, and she does see one in middle. That player did move and slide away from her. Her teammate should be there for her help, and that's Lethal Lady. She's got to help as the other player's going to be pushing up. 15 seconds left. Bozzy really needed to play her life there, but instead pushes up and tries to get her teammates to trade. Riot able to clutch up that round despite having that man lost right in the beginning.
There was a Virtue player, Heglitch, in the bomb, and I liked how she just fired off some shots, kind of baiting the site, and could have went for like a really crazy flank and trying to catch these players off guard, but just kind of backed up and let the full bomb site control to Riot. Riot got first blooded at the beginning of the round. It was Selly dropping pretty early in the round, and Riot still pulling off the win. They're able to adapt together and play these 3v4 situations pretty well. Classic Cruz now bomb in hand, heading towards the B-bomb site, and you're seeing a kind of a pushed up Riot here. Emmys is going to be on this top rock area, but Selly's going to be first blooded once again, and Emmys is going to drop as well on the top rock area. So Riot not starting well so far on this defense.
Riot, Virtue showing a little bit of life now after they get first 2 picks. Doesn't spot that corner, so Lethal Lady is able to get 1 and 2 on that power position. Looks like 3 down right off the bat. Oh, sorry. I thought it was 3 down. Virtue 2v1 versus Lethal Lady. They know where she's at. She does get picked off. I thought for a second Riot got 3 down versus Virtue. And I was going to say they fell pretty quickly, but it didn't look like it went that way. And Virtue getting their first round here, showing that they're not quite out of it at this point.
And the Weevil is going to come out by Noob Hero here on the S&D. Seems to be a new weapon. A new Fair coming out, slowly but surely. Either way, that was a pretty scary round. Riot, Lethal Lady was able to even up the numbers almost with that 2-piece. So you got kind of worried. Emmys and Selly getting first and second blood at the beginning of the round. But let's see this overdrive push out of Lethal Lady right into this offense, right in the face of Virtue. Getting some shots into that one player, but she is one shot. So this is the scary situation about overdrive. Can actually get you first blooded here, and there's going to be a bunch of players pushed up from Virtue on the site, so Lethal Lady is going to need a little bit of help here.
If I'm Lethal Lady, I slide in there and pre-fire that corner, but that's just me. As Riot is able to get first blood. That's Emmys. Classic Cruz picking up, Classic Cruz falling in, so with Noob Hero, so Riot's going to have a quick advantage right off the break. Again, failure to check the corner, but Wolf Knight's there to get the trade. Brilliant plays by Riot working together as Bozzy's last one left. Missing some shots on that player on Gravity Rock. That bomb is going to be going down, though, so that's Wolf Knight on bomb, getting it halfway. It's about to fall, and Bozzy's quickly getting pinched by both those Riot players. Almost able to pick off that player on the Heglitch, but will fall shortly as she loses that 1v1 gunfight. Riot taking a commanding 4-1 lead. Brilliant trades by them. I like that play inside of B-bomb, able to get the trade on the player in that corner. Just gotta make sure to start checking that corner. We saw 2 players on both teams fail to just run right past that pretty obvious corner.
Yeah, now Virtue, I believe, are going to be on defense. So this is on offense. This is kind of a danger zone for them. 2 more rounds for Riot. and they will be taking map number 2 and also being 2-0 in the series. So you're seeing Bossy and friends doing an interesting push towards this A site. Riot are going to have one player pushed up in the middle of the map, but only one player contesting. That's going to be Wolf Knight. She needs to spot this push, able to get the first blood there on Classy Cruz. Beautiful shots there, and also the heat wave in her back pocket for these close range engagements. She's going to spot Noob Hero as well, able to call out to her teammates that this A push is coming. The heat wave comes in and almost the 3, but no, she turns around and she does get picked. However, it's going to be leaving Breenated in a 1 versus 3.
Now, I mean, we have Breenade left. She has that pistol and sniper. It's really not looking too good for her, especially the way that Riot's playing. Gonna just punch her down and add insult to injury right there. And if you look at the way Riot's playing, they're in positions to trade at all times. You saw Ballsy able to get that Breenade or Ballsy able to get that trade on the player inside of Broken, but then quickly traded by the other Riot player. So Riot, no matter what, even if they're getting traded themselves, they're able to get the trades right back, and that's why they're really dominating this S&D. A lot of these times, you will not see teams set up to trade in all situations, and Riot's just proving that they know how to play together.
Of course, I really agree. And looking at the stats, Lethal Lady and Wolf Knight having the most amount of kills with 8 and 2 and 7 and 4. So Lethal Lady having that counter UAV that she did just put up. So that's really going to put a nail in the coffin for Virtue here on defense. As obviously Riot are going for this B site. Wolf Knight is going to be pushed up here. Getting the bomb down currently is being watched over by her teammates. Bossy was able to get some shots, but not actually take out a player from Riot. So the bomb down, and now a 4 versus 3 in favor of Riot. Now 3 versus 3. Can Bossy even up the numbers? No, she does get taken out along with her teammate Noob Hero. Classic Cruz, the last one left, and that's going to be game 6-1 for Riot.
And I mean, she get a Virtue in that last gunfight. We saw her just missing a bunch of shots. You really got to straighten up your shot if you're going to expect to win that. You see Riot not really missing shots, playing together, and just showing 6-1, 250 to 71. They're the dominating team right here. You can see that their scrims are paying off, and I mean, this late in the season, you should probably have a little more teamwork oriented down. I mean, not just me though. So Virtue really needs to forget those two maps, move to the uplink, maybe try and shoot a little bit straighter and work together.
Yeah, Lethally hitting the double digits with 10 and 2, and the 2 plants going to Wolf Knight and 1 to Selly. No plants at all for Virtue, and that's going to be something they work on, is the objective play and being a little bit more aggressive in other teams' faces. Of course, they are facing the first place team in the league, so this is a very tough order for them as well. But Fringe uplink is going to be your map number 3. Riot are up 2-0 in the series. We're going to be right back after this quick intermission.
We are dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. Search but you stay lost. We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard. And I wonder where you are. Mysterious, that's the part you always show, 'cause you're too curious. Maybe you should take
welcome back, guys, to Female Pro League Stream. Map number 3 underway. Fringe uplink with Virtue versus Riot. Riot are up 2-0 in the series after, a pretty dominating series overall. 250-71 on the hardpoint and 6-1 on the S&D that you guys did just see. Now the Banner Protects is slowly loading up. Lethal Lady is going to start off with the ban on the fast hand, so we might see maybe a repetition of map number 1.
Yeah, so we're going to see that fast hands, but in return, Classic Cruise says, nope, you're not banning my stock, and that stock does get protected, and the Man of War ban right his way as well. Breenated trying to make sure that they don't have that overpowered gun on the enemy side, able to maybe make the ARs a little bit easier to use, and that overdrive ban, pretty common for uplink, can be pretty OP if you know how to use it right, especially with that ball. But we're going to go into Fringe uplink. This is a very easy map to play if you know how to do it. All you need to do is win your gunfights and push up the track side to make your other team spawn either back alley or back tin, able to get that spawn trap set up. But once again, we're going to see an M8 ban as well. So it looks like the players on Virtue are targeting those pretty commonly used assault rifles.
Yeah, I think I saw Emmys, or there might have been more players on Riot, but definitely Emmys went off with the Man of War in that last S&D. So good target ban out of Breenated, then both main AR is going to be taken out. I think active camo, and I missed the other couple things, but I do believe, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, are tacticals still in the game?
They are, and with the last two bans was what was that? High count rapid? Yeah, so both tacs are still in the game.
Yeah, so concussions and flashbang is going to be huge here, and having that tac mask equipped is going to be important on the Fringe uplink. It can really slow down your movement if you get concussed. I think we saw a little bit of that in map number 1. That really threw off some gunfights in certain people's favors, really using those tacticals in their favor. Specialist draft slowly loading up. I thought I saw the active camo being taken out. Well, I guess we're going to find out shortly, as a heat wave picked up by Bossy and Wolf Knight. Breenade is going to pick up that kinetic armor. So kinetic armor was taken out, I believe, in the last 2 maps, or maybe at least the first map. So players able to pick that up. Selly's going to match that as well. Scythe out of Lethal Lady, and Tempest out of Classic Cruise, and Emmy's going to match that Tempest as well. Is Noob here going to pick up the Scythe, or is she going to use something else? 3 seconds left, and she does pick up the Scythe.
And it's interesting we didn't see the kinetic armor ban. That's pretty common in uplink. I guess overdrive and active camo, kind of, especially with that fast hands. Okay, I guess it makes more sense that fast hands was banned and the AR bans, but it's still kind of weird to see. Kinetic armor is really good if you know how to use it in the right play situations. But we're going to see the match on the specialist. Nothing really different for these teams. I'm just curious how these 2 bans and the ARs are going to affect Riot. Do you have any ideas?
Well, I mean, no M8 and no Man of War. It's definitely going to affect, like I said, Emmys. And I do believe Wolf Knight uses the VMP, so, the sub-player is not going to be too affected there. Of course, the stock is protected, so they're going to be able to move around the map. So what AR would you choose if there's no M8 or Man of War? Do you go with maybe a Kuda with something on an uplink, or...?
I'm feeling more of an HVK now. HVK, XR2 are going to be the most commonly used ones, in my opinion. Maybe we'll see that... what's that other one? Man of War M8, XR2, HVK.
The ICR maybe?
RCR, yeah. Maybe a little bit of ICR. It's kind of the weaker one, but it's if players aren't really that comfortable with those, then we'll see the ICR. But definitely HVK. I've been using it a lot more when I've been scrimming, especially on Breach, since it's more of a closer range AR. It kind of reminds me of a sub if used right. So if these players... maybe we could see some 3 HVK action here. We'll see how these players elect to do it. But this AR ban might affect Riot in a big way, since we do see them dominating with those 2 main ARs that were banned by Virtue.
Yeah, like you pretty much summed it up pretty well there. And of course, if they want to pick up maybe a medium range sub, they could go with the Kuda, or like you said, go with the HVK, which is kind of like a more closer-ish range than the M8, and then the XR2. Kind of like an M8, but not as good. So we'll see what they're going to be able to pick up there. So no crazy bans, just the fast hands and the Man of War and the M8 were kind of like the main weapon-ish targets there. So let's see how Virtue are going to adapt to that at this time of round. Of course, they weren't too bothered by the Man of War and the M8 ban, since they're the ones that did it. So I wonder what they're going to be picking up instead of those. But from what I remember, Riot, I mean, Dream Crazy was always the one from Riot that picked up the HVK, instead of the Man of War or the M8. I think she likes the Man of War as well. But the HVK, I've seen her use the most, but I haven't seen anybody really touch the HVK from what I remember. However, we're going to see just now, once these players load up, what they're going to be able to use. So some players, a lot of players using the attack mask here now, the concussions are available. We're seeing the KN44 out of Classic Cruise and the HVK, like you said, out of Noob here, along with some VMPs. Lethal Lady is going to have that ICR, and Queen Sully's going to have that XR2, so quite a variety of ARs used here.
So we see the Shiva too. Okay, so that's the AR I was missing. I know there was one more dominant ones. So that's going to be Breenated with that Shiva. So we're going to see her pop up, and she's going to be going into dubs, which is going to be kind of strange with that Shiva. Most of her flank all around. No, she's going to get dubs control with it. The Rails fight is going to be the most important one, as Ballsy's going to get a huge kill right there. Looking for the player Tiny. Her and her team are going to bump off and just run right past the players. Going to be 2 and 2. Riot and Virtue able to get 2 down for both off the break, and no one really does have control yet as Noob Hero is able to grab that ball and make an individual play here. We'll see if she's able to get that one. Looks like Riot's going to be working back, and she's going to be alone in their base. I think this is just kind of more of a waste time play, but she's still able to stay alive as her teammates are going to be pushing up that rails area.
I mean, the first possession out of Virtue, Noob Hero tried to do all she could, but she did drop Lethal Lady, now recovering that. Emmy's opening up with a 2-piece on Classic Cruise and Bossy. Noob Hero now trying to pull some defense in the spawn. Lethal Lady's going to throw it out. Try to use that ICR for a bit of defense here on Alleyway. She's actually going to be flanked there. Fantastic kills. I think that's Breenated, who came all the way through bricks, able to pick up the drone as well. Queen Sully gets a 2-piece as well, so Virtue need to be careful here, not having the numbers in their favor. Breenated needs to go against up to 2 players. Wolf Knight's going to pick up that kill, and now the drone is down in 10.
I'm a little confused why Virtue keeps trying to go for this OE on this side. I mean, they're on good side of this fringe uplink, and they're not even attempting to go for this spawn trap. Instead, they're playing this small tin area. We're going to see Ballsy get a huge 2-piece though, but Wolf Knight's going to be spawning on her portal, so it's kind of pointless. I don't like this tin push. We'll see if they're able to make it work, as Wolf Knight's able to get one, trying to play by herself and get these kills, trying to get Noob Hero and see that powerful HVK up close, pretend to be a sub, and Emmy's able to show her HVK work as well. So we're going to see HVKs across the board here. I like to see this. This is more of, they've recently buffed this gun, so it's more relevant than ever, especially in regular hard points as well. I'm surprised we didn't see it more. But that ball is going to be up, and they're going to go and throw it to the enemy team, and Virtue is going to be able to get control of this track, so it's going to be big. They can set this spawn trap if they win a little bit more gunfights, and there's going to be a lot of defensive work here for Riot to try and stop this cap from coming in.
I mean, it's pretty back and forth so far. No scores have gone in, but Riot have done such a fantastic job on defense getting these multi-kills. I think it's like Lethal Lady and Emmys I've seen getting these double kills to really stop these pushes from Virtue. So now Bossy, is her turn to recover the drone, going towards the middle of the map. She's going to drop there by Wolf Knight again. So this has been just a bloodbath of just killing each other over this drone, and no one's been able to put any points on the board. However, Wolf Knight is getting in this top right area. Fantastic use of the heat wave, and now the counter UAV is in her back pocket.
She's trying to pre-fire. That player is behind her. Going to be able to clean her up. Maybe Wolf Knight leads a little bit more of her map awareness there. She should be knowing that those players are going to be pushing up red as they're going to be spawning in that back alley. That bulk carrier is able to almost get that point, but her teammates, they're trying to get the trades. There's going to be all these members are going to be fighting for that red control. It's just going to be a bloodbath here as you see trades go back and back and back, and that ball is just thrown out middle map. Looks like it's in dubs right now, so unfortunately no score here on the first side so far with a minute 44 left to go. No teams are really able to get control and set up that spawn trap. We do see Lethal Lady with that ICR, no red dot there, able to get one. That's 3 down for Riot, so this could get a potential score, but that's Noob Hero making some big plays there. She's alone with the ball. Maybe she pushed by herself really quick because those players haven't spawned up yet. She's probably made a quicker play. It looks like she's not going to be able to make this play now. Those players are spawning. I don't really agree with that. You could have went for the quick one there, but as Virtue's kind of clogged up in that tin area, once again, it looks like Riot trying to push after them as Breenated able to get up one. Still no map control for either team. It looks like it's going to be a fairly low-scoring game here so far.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks for Virtue. You know, they had 2 players up, and I guess Noob Hero wanted to wait for all 4 players to make a more coordinated push, but then they got stuck in tin. Instead of kind of pushing their way out, trying to funnel through that, which is not the greatest idea. They tried to go through mid, and that wasn't great either. Very open area, lots of spots to watch out for, and the drone was dropped once again. Now in the middle of the map, recovered here by Lethal Lady. going towards the top barn, actually the back barn area. So this finally could be the first score we see of the round, maybe the only score. 40 seconds left. The 1 point does go in. Noob Hero preventing the 2-point play. And I just think Virtue are playing so well. This is not the Virtue we've seen in the hardpoint. It's not the Virtue we've seen in the SMD, and they put up such a good defense and actually have been getting quite a bit of drone possession. It just comes up to Riot's slaying ability, just shutting them down with these multi-kills. And surprisingly enough, it's only a 1-0 lead for Riot.
I mean, I really don't feel it's Virtue playing better. I feel like they're just doing something that's not common. And I mean, if I was playing a team and this Fringe Uplink who just kept pushing tin, I mean, as long as you don't let them get out of tin, then you're good. And that's what really Riot's doing. Like, they don't have to slay as much. They don't need the drone position. They're on the bad side. And you see Virtue push tin on this good side, not trying to push for the spawn trap. And that's what's holding them back. I mean, they're preventing Riot from getting points, but it's just going to backfire if Riot's going to get this spawn trap on this side. We'll see if my prediction's right here, but you really don't want to be pushing that tin side on that good side of the map. But that's just my competitive opinion there.
Yeah, and Emmy's proving that, not having the Man of War or the MA does not bother her at all. She's having the HVK 17 and 8 in the first half, going to pull out that Tempest right off the break. Is she able to spot Classic Cruise? And she does. There's Noob Hero. She gets the second kill. And Queen Sully with the third, so 3 down for Virtue. Amazing Friends already picking up actually the drone. Lethal Lady is in the middle of the map. We're going to have some players from Riot over on track, so this is a fantastic offense here. The Tempest is still going. She picks up another kill, and that's a 2-point play for Riot.
And here comes the potential spawn trap inborn for Riot as they're able to try and get these picks, but Noob Hero is able to get 2 there, preventing Riot from getting the spawn trap. Lethal Lady, the only one left. Riot seems to have no idea that she's still alive, causing havoc in this Grandma's Hill. Not able to spot one yet, but she's able to spot that player going for the ball, shutting them down. We'll spot one going up top red. No bullets connect though, as Lethal Lady's just staying up in their base, able to get another one on the ball. This is great plays by her. That Scythe is able to be used too. It needs to get this player on down. She gets another one. That's 3 dead, 100 away from her counter UAV as she has control of their base. Noob Hero, the only one who spawned. Looks like she's going to be pushing into Dub, and finally, Lethal Lady does get picked, and you're right, maybe Virtue is playing a little bit more together as this pace. As you see, Noob Hero's 20 and 16, you really need a designated Slayer there. Riot's only up by 3, so Virtue definitely has a fighting chance in this one still. They just need to get it more aggressive and win this win their offensive fights that they haven't been doing.
Now Bossy's going to have the drone in hand, but here comes Lethal Lady on the flank. Wolf Knight as well with the third kill, so Virtue down 3 players, but here comes the offense out of Riot. Lethal Lady's going to be with the drone, leading the charge, has a teammate going down in front of her. That's Classic Cruise and Noob here with these fantastic defensive kills. Lethal Lady now escaping into Grandma. Should be good for the 2-point play, and that's just a fantastic adaptation out of Riot. And Lethal Lady, have teammates go down. Don't go rushing in by yourself, and, she went into Grandma's, able to get to 2-point play when having 2 teammates down. Just fantastic plays out of Riot out now that they're leading 5-0.
Yeah, and Virtue trying to make a defensive stance here, but they are getting in this spawn kill as that player's in that back AR positioning. Classy Cruise trying to get some picks, does get 2. That's going to be huge, but another pick play does come in, and Riot making full use of this good side, up 7-0. You see the big scores coming in, only being up by 3 or 1, only being up by 1 as we switch sides. Virtue trying to make a stance right now though, as 2 are dead. Lammy's going to be the last one left in a fighting stance position. Lammy's going to be able to get picked too. Looks like that ball carrier is all alone. She's going to pop her kinetic, try and go for 1 and get some points on the board, but misses that throw, and that's unacceptable right there as Virtue doesn't have any points on the board, and Riot just dominating in this point, 7-0 on the break. Nothing really more to do.
Yeah, that was unfortunate for Breenade. She had the kinetic armor and goes for the 1 point. I mean, even could have, if she had a teammate with her, go for the 2, but missing that 1 point play is pretty devastating. But 2 minutes left, I don't think there's going to be much wiggle room to really get more points on the board, especially Lethal Lady and Emmy's leading the charge for another 2-point play. And actually, the other player from Riot is just going to kind of bait these other players from Virtue out of their defensive positions for the 2-point play going in. So 3 players of Virtue going down. Breenade is actually overextending, so she could be able to stop this player here, and she doesn't actually kill that drone player being Selly. So this is most likely going to be another 2-point play on the board. Currently 11-0 to Riot.
Yeah, and Riot just showing their slaying abilities here as those players are somehow still spawning Dome. It's a little confusing as Riot's in their base, but I mean, I guess that's normal. I don't know, it's just kind of weird spawns. that ball carrier is going to be able to go and get another 2 here as Riot takes that 13-0 lead, completely dominating Virtue. It wasn't Virtue's still playing together. They just don't know how to break that spawn trap, and that's what a lot of teams struggle in. Is when you're getting spawn trap, you need either all OE and give up a couple caps, or all rotate back and win your gunfights together. See, that's the biggest problem with these teams that maybe aren't, maybe haven't played enough together or just don't understand the basis of uplink. It's that spawn trap is really what gets you the cap, not the individual plays that win you the game, unless it's very closely matched and both teams know how to break the cutoff trap. But if one team just knows how to hold it, that's game over.
I really just thought Virtue, as well as agreeing with you, said should have maybe tried to take advantage of overextending. You know, Riot always pushed 3 or 4 players into the spawn and kind of just stay there and set up for that spawn trap. But why not overextend and take advantage and try to go for these 2-point plays? And I saw like Virtue being close to the drone, 4 players of Riot in their spawn, and they never really went for the counter cap or the counter anything. They just kind of tried to slay out their base and never overextended. Not getting a single point on the board here on uplink, so that's going to be a 3-0 series win for Riot after a 250-71 on Hardpoint, 6-1 on SND, and now a 16-0 on the uplink. Looking at the score, Emmy's always the most, the hugest slayer on Riot, 35 and 16. No points to rename. That's all going to be Lethal Lady and Selly, and a little bit of Wolf Knight kind of trading that objective play as they go. And Noob Hero, I thought was kind of the MVP of that map, 29 and 28. However, she was always the one kind of jumping on the drone, and at the beginning of the game, was pushing to the Riot spawn with less than 30 seconds, trying to get points on the board. But with no slaying numbers in your favor, it's really hard to get that done, especially against Riot.
Yeah, and kind of highlighting on what you said when you OE'd, if the other team isn't, like, Riot was able to get that spawn trap, but they were all in their base at the same time. Like you said, if you just give up that cap and go for the OE, you're able to get that basically free cap, because all the players of Riot are in their base. So it's basically, if you push right and you just get past that middle map, it's just a free cap. So even if you give it up, you're basically evening out the points, and you're breaking the spawn trap at the same time. So if anything, Virtue really has to work on that during their uplinks, maybe working more together in hard points and team shooting. But other than that, pretty just blowout series right there.
Yeah, now it is 10:30, so we are all on schedule for the Virtue versus Strictly Business. So if you're a Virtue fan, they do have a second chance tonight to make up for this 3-0 loss. So we're going to be right back after this intermission for Virtue versus Strictly Business.
Shows you're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow, mysterious. That's the part you always show. You're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow.
What just happened? He makes me sick.
Welcome back, guys, to the Female Pro League stream. We've got Strictly Business versus Virtue. So, of course, Virtue dropping their series against Riot. Hopefully, they're able to make the comeback, at least take one of the series of the two that they have tonight. First off, we have Fringe Hardpoint as your map number 1 of this best of 5. This Banner Protect is slowly loading up. Berlin K is going to open up with an HCXD ban.
Yep, Peace RCs. What I'm going to be mostly focusing on is how Virtue's going to come back to this after losing that series 3-0 and very just like 16-0, 6-1, 250-71. So that's definitely going to affect their morale. I'm sure they're coming into this. I'm sure they're perfectly just quiet in that Skype call right now, not knowing how this match is going to play out. They really need to get a strong break here so the communication will pop off right in the beginning. Because I'm sure if I'm getting banged that bad and then I come into the next map versus another team, I'm still pretty demoralized. So they really got to hope... we're going to hope that morale is up. But we're going to see the regular bans here as the attacks are out of the picture. Same with Overclock and Rapid Fire and High Cow. We might see an AR ban of some sort, maybe the nades out of the picture, depending on what these two players elect to do.
Yeah, maybe even a kinetic armor ban or maybe some kind of specialist ban. Kinetic armor is going to make its way out. And for the final ban, we will decide. That's going to be your girl, Jessie, who picks that one. And she's going to go with the frag grenade ban. So you're not going to have to worry about having tac mask on since there's not going to be any tacticals in the game. And not sure if you're going to use the flak jacket. Of course, Semtex is still in the game, but you don't have to worry about frag grenades or HGXDs as well. Overclock making its way out, so Specialist not going to be acquired as quickly, of course, in our last match, or our last series. I don't think Overclock was touched at all from what I remember, so pretty easy to acquire those. Let's see what people are picking so far. Active Camo matched out of Berlin K and Bossy. Noob Hero is going to have the Scythe. I believe she did use that in her last series, along with Brinated with her Heat Wave. She had some really nice kills in the last series as well with that. Songfully is going to pick up the Tempest. Netflix and COD is going to match that Heat Wave. Classic Cruise is going to have the Tempest as well to match. What is your girl Jessie going to match? She has this, could go with the Scythe, or maybe something different. That would be the one to match here. And she's actually going to go with the Psychosis.
Yep, and that's not a very common one in Hardpoint. We'll see how she elects to use it here. That overclocks on the picture. She probably won't get it more than 2 times, depending on how well she does. We have that Scythe and Tempest and Active and Heat Wave on the side of Virtue. That's pretty common. Most teams will run that, especially on Fringe. It's a little different to see Psychosis instead of that other gun like the Scythe, maybe even the not Man of War, the War Machine. Kind of, I don't know, you don't really see that as much anymore, but definitely a little different with Psychosis. We'll see how that affects Virtue and breaking hills or holding hills. But we really need to see Virtue start slaying more with their ARs here. Maybe use more of HVK so then you have more pressure. You really kind of see, we never really saw a bunch of pressure from them, especially breaking hills. Maybe holding hills was a big problem of theirs too. We need to see them rotate a little bit earlier. Maybe fix those mistakes from last map where they lost to Riot. Maybe they could, they missed the match a little bit closer. You really don't want to, if they get destroyed in this first hard point, those next two maps, it's just, it's not going to be looking good for them.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, I would have to agree with the Scythe pick over the Psychosis pick, but of course, Psychosis could be useful as a more defensive specialist, let's say over on tracks, or just adding extra bodies onto the hill to try and distract the other team, or try and buy your team some more time, or some more health, I guess, trying to stay alive in the hills, so maybe your girl Jessie will play more of an objective role, but Netflix and COD has always been the designated player for that, for Strictly Business. Of course, Breenated plays some nice objective play with the Heat Wave as well, but I would have liked to see your girl Jessie match that Scythe. You know, having a Psychosis against a Scythe, I'm not sure how that's going to go, and especially having that Scythe is going to be way more dominant in the tracks hill versus maybe a Psychosis. So we'll have to see how Jessie's going to use it. Maybe it actually will support her teammates quite well. Score streaks are going to be picked here. The only one not going to be used is DHXD, and we've seen the counter UAV be pretty annoying too. Of course, we're not playing, but you can just imagine not being able to have any map awareness during that short amount of time, how they can really screw up your rotations or just your overall where everybody is on the map. So Fringe, Hardpoint slowly loading up here. Strictly Business versus Virtue. I believe Strictly Business is third in the league from what I remember seeing. Yeah, they are currently 12-4, third place, and of course, like I said before, Virtue are in 8th. So this is going to be a tough matchup for them.
Yeah, I don't know. Virtue needs to, hopefully they start off strong. They really need to work together as we start off. Maybe they should start off with some 3 ARs off the break. A lot of these teams are starting to do that and trying to get some more map control. Ballsy's running one, Breenated running one. So we're going to see a 3AR, one sub set up. We're going to want to see Noob here with that sub push rails and try and get that flank off the break. I think that'll get Virtue really strong opening drive. They're just going to have dubs open, so that's going to be their big weak spot there. We'll see how they like to handle that, though, as they're going to start off, and Noob Hero is going to have that sub and Scythe combination. He's going to be pushing up, and looks like they're just going to go all straight to hill. I don't really like this play, but we'll see how they end up doing it. We didn't see anyone, and it looks like first hill time is going to go to SB as Noob Hero trying to get that player out of the hill. And Virtue able to get some quick picks off the break. No, and there's Classic Cruz going for the flank. Great play by her. And they should be able to get some hill time here as you see Virtue completely dominating this kill feed right now. Up 5-1 right here. So Virtue off to a quick start. I like this. I like the way they're playing right now. Your mic's muted.
I don't know how I keep muting my mic accidentally. I apologize, guys. Either way, like I was going to say, Virtue are actually playing 3 ARs and Strictly Business are playing 2 ARs, so maybe that's why they're able to win those longer range gunfights, able to make their sub feel comfortable in the middle of the hill. So, of course, beginning hill time going to Virtue as Noob Hero, currently 3-2, 2-kill streak, but she's getting all the time so far, currently 20 seconds, as Virtue, or sorry, that's maybe going to be Strictly Business getting the last couple seconds of scrap time over on Junkyard. You see the orange arrows from Virtue already set up here, so Strictly Business is going to cut through bricks, and this actually you might see Berlin K go for an alleyway flank here, so Virtue going to have to be careful here.
And Virtue does get flanked by Berlin K. Ballsy still in the hill left. Maybe she'll use her active camo here and make sure to hold it down. And Berlin K doesn't challenge, waits for his teammates, and does get punished for that. Unfortunately, as Virtue takes this early 30-6 lead, looks like Virtue's just controlling this kill feed with Ballsy just 12-1 right here, getting EMP'd out of her active camo. Does have the Cerberus, lightning and counter in her back pocket. Ballsy just putting on a show here for us as she does finally get picked off, shutting down 12-2, able to reset her streaks 50-6 right off the break. SB really just not getting any control here as they try to elect to rotate for this Grandma's Hill, and Virtue already there. I like this new Virtue that I'm watching right now.
Yeah, this is a whole different Virtue, and this is a whole different Bossy that we're seeing. 13-2, using M8, anchoring here on Silos. Gonna spot this player here, the RK5, communicating to her team where this player is. She's able to pick up that kill as well. 14-2, the Cerberus on the map as well, helping up with some defense here around this Grandma's area. The RK5 in hand, she's gonna pick up another kill. So Lightning Strike also in counter UAV here. She's gonna ping the Lightning Strike, knows this player should be around the corner here. But either way, just a fantastic work out of Virtue, and this is already almost as more points than they have from their map that they had against Riot.
Yeah, and I mean, they're really showing that they're still in these matches. Ballsy just needs to keep up the slaying here with that AR. I like what she's been doing, especially with this Serbi. One more streak in hand as they're trying to go for this rotation. SB not completely out of it as they do end up getting that Grandma's Hill, which is a big, very hard kill to break. Here comes that Psychosis inbound for that SB player. Netflix and Kai able to push through. It looks like they're going to be spawning in that spawn trap location and back alley. All SB has to do is stay alive, and they'll keep holding down these the spawn trap here. Really need to see SB win these gunfights and push through. They're not really sure where they're spawning. Netflix and Kai getting a big pick in that hill. That player is laying down in that power position, though. That's going to be Classic Cruz getting 2. Looking for that last player, and that's Classic Cruz going big right here. That Tempest should come out, but it doesn't. They know where they're spawning. It looks like it's in the back alley spawn for SB. As there are 4 players in that hill for Virtue. Jesse trying to go for that flank, but that Server Eye able to pick her off. Virtue's doing a very good job on this hill. I like to see a little more better is trying to predict those spawns and trying to set up the spawn trap as you really can on this hill, where you can influence the spawns and make them spawn back alley the whole time. And there's plenty of Hegglers where you can watch that from fences and hold that down.
And really surprised that Cerberus is still on the map. Strictly Business need to pull out these EMPs and shut it down. It's gotten quite a few kills there for Bossy, and even earlier she had the lightning strike, and it didn't pick up any kills, but she's still racking up quite a few with that Cerberus. Like I said, Noob here going to pick up that last bit of scrap time, but this middle hill intro points going in favor of Strictly Business. Netflix and Cod and Jesse trying to sit on this hill with their subs here, but the Psychosis, Jesse's going to pop that, trying to bait these players out. She's able to pick up 1, and now there should be another kill for her as well. So this is actually a great use of the Psychosis in the middle of the hill. Allows the clones to really spread around. But let's see how Virtue are going to combat this, as it's almost a tie game.
Yeah, so SB able to come back into us after being down 60-5, showing that they're not quite out of it. Picking up that slaying wise. Bozzy is the only one who kept this Virtue team into it. She really needs to keep going off for her team to stay in. Looks like Songfleet is get picked off by Noob here on this hill. It's going to be controlled by Songfleet, the last remaining player on SB. Jesse's there too. And that Tempest is in hand for one of those players. Berlin K is doing a great job of holding down that middle map. She's going to get into the hill as those teammates are going to be pushing for the spawn. Just realizing to win these gunfights back here, and that's big kills for SB. One more gunfight, and they're going to get spawned. So Virtue able to hold down the spawns and push up. Looks like those players are going to be spawning 10 now. SB really has a chance to get control now that they have the favored spawn point here, and those players are going to be forced to push down that 10 area, which is basically just a blind door set. But looks like they pushed up a little too far. 45 seconds left on those players going to be spawning back fences. So we're going to see a split push here from Virtue trying to break this hill. They really need to win their gunfights there, but Ballsy pushing out individually by herself. That's going to punish her team. It's going to leave them in a 2v4 now. So Virtue really needs to focus on not getting out of this just yet. They're only down by 40 points, so they really need to just work together and make sure this lead doesn't keep going up.
Yeah, I really liked how Netflix and Cod just played that entire Junkyard Hill. She had the Heat Wave, pushed out of the hill, used the Heat Wave, able to pick up some kills, going on these crazy flanks around the hill. And really, that's usually your objective player for the squad. But liking how she's playing that more Slayer role when she had, they're switching up the roles on that squad. Virtue now getting the last bit of scrap time on this Junkyard Hill, but like you did know, the spawns are in favor of Strictly Business going into this Grandma's Hill, and Strictly Business sitting at about a 40-point lead. So if they're able to hold this Money Hill, it's going to be pretty devastating for Virtue, and it's going to be pretty sad if you're a Virtue fan because they had quite a commanding lead at the beginning.
Yeah, and it really just they played together in the beginning. They had that confidence, and I feel like now that the lead is starting to go up in SB's favor, they're really starting to get antsy and just play by themselves. You see a player that's Ballsy again, just pushing out a 10 by herself and getting picked by the 4 players of SB holding down this. They need to realize that it wasn't a big lead, but now that they're just individually pushing it, the lead's even bigger. So you can't get antsy. Composure is the biggest thing in Hardpoint, because once you just start making dumb plays, then it's just going to turn against you. And you can see this here as SB was able to keep fully composed and just push together the whole time and able to bring down that 60-point lead. And now they're ahead by almost 90 points, and over 90 points.
Yeah, they've held almost the entirety of that Grandma's Hill, but at least you can see the Orange Arrows of Virtue set up pretty well on both sides of this tracks area, but the counter UAV in play for Strictly Business is going to be pretty hard here. Boss is able to open up with a kill along with Classy Cruz, so they just need to play some good defense here, not allow Strictly Business to come in and contest the hill, but here come all those 4 players, Brilliant K and Greenade opening up with 2 kills of their own. It's going to be an absolute bloodbath as the Psychosis does run its way through the hill, and Strictly Business, just like that, are able to take it over.
Yep, and SB just holding down this hill, 209 to 99. I mean, Virtue really hasn't gotten points in 7 hills, basically. Not 7, 5, 6 hills, basically. Like, it's just been a bloodbath. SB completely dominating. Classy Cruz just going to push this top red by herself, trying to get another pick. Grenade able to get a kill there, maybe pad her stats a little bit. I mean, it's just dawning out for Virtue here. Jesse's going to flank around. They're going to get the red spawns now. As they're just going to be pushing in that hill, trying to get some trades, and SB able to pick off that player. Looks like they're only going to need like 16 points to win this.
Yeah, only a couple more points away, and like you did say, Strictly Business pretty much held most of Junkyard, held all of Grandma's, and now most of Tracks, and is only a few points away from on this middle hill. Are they able to close it out here? Virtue need to show some life here. Bossy on this hill, having the sub in hand, just needs to really play her life. The counter UAV from Strictly Business is going to make it hard for Virtue to predict where these players are coming from, and here comes Strictly Business in this top barn area, so they're going to have those spawns of Virtue. Going to have a hard time combating this, as the Songfu is going to pull out that Tempest for the last couple points. Strictly Business having full control here. Is going to be one player trying to contest it, and that's Bossy, and she does go down. 4 players of Virtue trying to flood this hill as much as they can. Psychosis being activated as well, but Berlin K is going to shut 2 players down with her, I think that's an M8.
Yeah, and SB is going to close this out here with 2 more points on the board. Just going to win that one gunfight, and there we go. Just, oh, never mind. Classic Cruise ever shut down, and now it is over. As SB was down 60-5 and bringing back and win 250 to 123. So dominating lead change right there. I mean, if Virtue was able to keep composed and slay the whole time and work together, then, I mean, you could see Virtue winning this game 250 to 123, but it just wasn't that case, and SB really showing why they're the better team-oriented team.
I mean, you had Bossy who started off like, what, 12-1, something ridiculous like that, and then it's just Strictly Business waking up, I guess, halfway through the game, and Virtue, you know, they started off like 70 points, and then they just, like you said, they didn't have any hill control through like the last half of the game, like barely could do anything. Jessie able to close out 34 kills and almost 2 minutes of hill time and 7 defense. She'll be the player to watch, but Bossy had a good start to the game, you know, wasn't able to stay alive, or I guess stay composed like you did say, but map number 2, Search and Destroy, I'm not sure what map it is, sorry, Redwood S&D is going to be your map number 2. We're going to be right back after this intermission.
What just happened? He makes me sick. What just happened? He makes me sick.
Well, that takes care of that, eh, Patrick?
Done and done.
Welcome back, guys, to the Female Pro League stream. We got Virtue versus Strictly Business, like before, and this is map number 2 of Redwood Search and Destroy, and it's going to be Strictly Business up 1-0 in the series. Banner Protect is slowly loading here. Max, what are you expecting?
Well, we see the thermal sight bans. They're probably going to follow with an overkill as well, especially in Redwood S&D, where the sniper is going to be a big factor if used right. So, like I said, overkill out of the picture. RCs as well, that's pretty generic. Redwood S&D, if you have an aggressive sub player, you're going to see a lot of middle pushes and a lot of wall running. This map is pretty different from any other S&D maps you'll ever see in any game, because with this game you also have the jetpack and the wall runs. And this map, you can literally wall run around the map without touching the ground, only off spawn. You can jump in the air off spawn, you never have to touch the ground again. And that's different from any other COD because it just adds so many different lanes. So if we see some of these subs just abusing that wall run, that's what makes Redwood such an easy map to win. So maybe we'll see that on the side of SB. But we're going to see the normal tac bans of the picture too. We'll probably see the high cal as the last ban, as the nade was the last one, the last tac ban most likely.
Yeah, so Overclock, of course, in the game, and High Caliber is going to be the last one out, so no tacs and no frag grenades here, and of course Kinetic Armor making its way through as well. So, and then all the sniper stuff being targeted like Overkill and Thermal. Not really, can't really remember for the life of me which is the designated sniper on both sides, but like you said, yeah, there's a lot of wall running, especially on this map, but especially over at the I think it's the A site. There's lots of places to fall off the map as well, so you got to be pretty wary of how much boost you have left and have the afterburner at least equipped if you're going to be abusing that wall running. However, a specialist draft is currently underway. Active Camo, I apologize, is going to be matched by Your Girl Jessie and Classy Cruz. Rejack's going to be picked up by Songflay. This is the second time tonight that I've seen Rejack. I don't think I've really seen much of it in the last series that I casted. The last series I casted, but let's see if Songflay can do something interesting with it.
Yeah, we didn't really see the Rejack used in that one map. I'm guessing she didn't get enough kills for it, so maybe Songflay will. Kinetic Armor active, Psychosis, Heatwave, pretty normal stuff. I don't really know why she chose Glitch when there's so many more options you could pick. So you don't really see that. Maybe Psychosis. Yeah, you don't see Kinetic Armor on the side of SB because Berlin K picked Glitch instead of it. So not really something I agree with. But if used right, Glitch can really win you some 1v2 situations. But as we start off, they're going to be picking their classes. Redwood S&D really want to have your ARs holding those top bunker, window, sometimes a bomb safe played right, but you're also going to want to see your subs getting really aggressive. You don't want to give up that B site. You want to have your subs either push up on that bridge or maybe get in that water, maybe get more control of mid. If you play really complacent on this defensively on this map, you're just going to give up B site the whole time. It's really hard to get control of that B once it's already planted.
Of course, I agree, but in my opinion, it's pretty offensively favored. I mean, if you're able to have a couple teammates at least push the building, you can get the bomb down pretty easily over at the left side of the map. I think that's B. Either way, Psycho is going to come pretty in handy to try and bait these players out, like you said, to kind of just grant you some more time while planting bomb, or just more time in like a 1v1 situation, things like that. It's interesting to see how these specialists are going to come into play. No kinetic armor on the side of Strictly Business, however. So not really that much. I wouldn't say that's like a game changer, like, oh my god, you need kinetic armor. But a pretty powerful specialist to have on the board, especially in Search and Destroy, where your life is going to be so important to play here. But let us know your predictions in the chat, who you guys think is going to win Strictly Business or Virtue. So, Virtue had a pretty dominating start in the hardpoint and then, slowly fell off near the end of the game. Strictly Business leading the series 1-0, but are Virtue able to show some life here on Search and Destroy? So, of course, this is not a 3v4 series. You don't have to worry about any kind of man count like we did in the last series. So, 4 versus 4, let us know your predictions. I mean, to be honest, I'd have to give it to Strictly Business. I always thought they were one of the better S&D teams coming through Season 1 and Season 2. And Virtue, just on paper in the standings, a little bit lower in the standings. However, they're very, very talented individual players. It's just, are they going to have that map awareness and those kind of rotations and the objective play all tied in together to go up against Strictly Business?
Yeah. We're going to see, so Ballsy's going to be running that SVG with Recon Sight. So, not going to have overkill there since it's not in the game. We're going to see 1 sub, 1 AR on Virtue. Newbie's going to, okay, that's 2 subs now. And we're going to see the normal, we're going to have 3 ARs on SP, so they're going to be playing a farther back defensive setup. We want to see what Ballsy can do with that sniper. You don't really see that recon sight too often here, especially on Redwood. Maybe she'll be able to get a pick in that window, especially since there's 3 AR players. But we're going to go on board with Virtue, and that's Greenated with the bomb. She's going to be pushing up on that bridge. First runner up. She's going to be the one trying to make this play. She does go in the water. Hopefully she'll hit this wall run here. Looks like she's going to dodge all the bullets and run around this player on bridge. Is Newbie able to get that? Noob Hero able to get that pick on Netflix and caught on that bridge, trying to get control of Songfully. Answers right back on Bossy, trying to get that snipe. The player in that top area, and Songfully able to get a nasty 2-piece right there with that bomb down. So it's a 2v2. SB in a bad, not really a bad position, but in a disfavorable position here with that bomb down.
Yeah, Breenade and Classy Cruz versus Songfully and Berlin K. 30 seconds left before the bomb does go down. Breenade finally is the last one left as Berlin K is able to pick up that kill on Classy Cruz. How is Breenade going to play this against these two players here? Knows that, or doesn't know, but the X-ray does show us that they're right around the corner. It's going to be one player in front of her. Is she able to pick it up? And she does. Another player around the corner here. And no, Songfully shuts her down, and she gets the defuse as well with the, I don't know if she got enough time. It looks like she did. So defuse in favor of Strictly Business as they do go up 1-0. And, interesting at the beginning to note that I think Jessie was using the PO6 as like a defensive weapon over on the other side. So she did get, I think, maybe first or second blooded, but let's see if she can be able to keep using that in the next couple rounds.
Yeah, hopefully she does. Songfully going big during that round, able to get 3 members. So let's see what she can do on this side as they're going to move that offensive end. They're able to win that defense even though that bomb does go down. It looks like Netflix and COD has the bomb, going to be pushing up on the bridge area here. Once again, she's going to be the front runner, trying to make the play. Looks like no members for Virtue in that middle map. One's going to be on that B side, pushing up, and she's able to get that that pick. Good team shot by SB, Jesse, and Netflix and COD getting bullets into, and that nade's going to come down on the site. Luckily, it is barely adds any damage to Netflix and COD, and the EMP comes out. This player is going to go for that challenge soon. She's waiting for the perfect time as one's up top. That bomb is going to be going down, though, as SB is going to try and get this this map favor with the bomb down, and 2 players dead. Virtue's now in a 2v4, 1v4 situation. It's looking very slow for the remaining players. They've got a sniper, and all those players are going to go down. Songfully 5-0 here as they get full control of this S&D.
Yeah, the bomb down and all the kills in their favor. Strictly Business is going to go up 2-0 so far in this S&D, but I like how Netflix and COD has that flak jacket equipped. That Semtex could have been a pretty devastating first or second kill. However, Songfully 5-0 currently has not died yet. I don't think the H6D is not in the game, so I don't think she's going to be near any streaks. Actually, she does have the dart and the rejack available to her, so it's going to be interesting to see how she's going to use that later on in the rounds. Breenade, however, bomb in hand, going towards this B-bomb site. She's going to be met by Netflix and COD and Songfully here in this B-bomb site building, so Netflix and COD's going to be pushed up, able to at least call out this push from Virtue coming towards the bomb site.
Yeah, and no players are down just yet. Breenade is going to be going down, trying to get this plant right here. No players. Oh, there's one player on her, and that player's going to get picked off. SB once again getting 2 picks, trying to get a pick, and that player does have that bomb. I don't know why she ran off it, but she did. And it looks like Classy Cruz is now stuck in an unfavorable 1v3 situation. That player, Netflix and COD, just going to hop on for the defuse. Never mind. Just going to be waiting for her team to try and get the pick. But finally, that defuse is going to come in. Classy Cruz is going in the water. Maybe she could get this pick on the bomb. She doesn't. Berlin Cave able to pick her off. SB showing why they are a great S&D team, playing completely together, getting all the cuts while that player goes to that individual defuse.
Yeah, 3 consecutive rounds for Strictly Business is looking pretty dangerous here for Virtue. They need to step it up on the offensive rounds, especially. They're getting, the one time they got the bomb down, it got defused, and I'm not sure what's going on with them. Songfully 6-0 still. They need to stop her kill streak going on as well. She still has the dart to use, and now the lightning strike along with the rejack as well. So it's going to be a very dangerous play to worry about later. Netflix and COD going to have the bomb in hand, heading towards this A-bomb site. It's a little bit of a switcheroo. Noob Hero is going to be the only one on defense at this bomb site with the M8. Should be spawning the head of one, so calling out at least 2 or 3 players coming towards this bomb site. So these players from Virtue should be going on rotation.
And here they come, Songfully able to pick off one there, 7-0, and the Hellstorm is going to come in on those players, and she's going to spot 2 of them. Only able to get 1, though. 8-0 here does have a Dart and Lightning available for use. 1 player in front of her, she can stay alive. The reject, though, could be used right here, and she does like to use it. Able to get the no, she's not. She's gonna get 2 deaths off that 1 life there. Netflix and COD knows where that player is, and Berlin K is gonna be right there trying to help her out. Looks like Classic Cruz is once again stuck in a clutch situation as Berlin K is able to help her teammate, and they're gonna team shoot that player. Able to go 4-0 here in this Redwood S&D.
This is looking bad if you're a Virtue fan. 4 consecutive rounds for Strictly Business, and like you said, the rejack didn't work in Songfully's favor, but they're at least able to kill, some time for Bossy to get both those kills, and then Jesse, I think, came in for the trade or something like that. Either way, Virtue not showing any life here on this S&D so far. Now on offense, hopefully they have a chance here. Breeny going to be your usual objective player here. Let's see what kind of site they're going to go to. She's going to pull out the M8 instead of the sub, I believe. But it's actually going to be Bossy having the bomb in hand going towards this A site, and Strictly Business not sending any players towards this A site. So this could be an easy plan for Virtue if they're able to play this a little bit more aggressively.
And Virtue pushing up this A side. That bomb is going to go down soon, but the Lightning's going to come in, able to pick off 1 in the building. I don't know how that happened, but Noob Hero is going to be the first one dead as Songfully uses that Lightning Strike. There's going to be 1 player on the wall. Run Breeny double get 1, but it does get traded right away, and Jesse falls off the map trying to go for some really low wall run there. So looks like it's going to be a 2v2 situation. Bozzy and Classic Cruz. Bozzy's able to get 1 now. That's called stuck in a 1v2. Classic Cruz, last one left, able to get the shot from the player. Looks like she pulls out the arrow, tries to go for that pick hurt, and she doesn't get it. Classic Cruz trying to put Virtue back into this 1 round at a time.
Yeah, 1 round at a time. They're showing some life here, ending that Strictly Business streak of 4 consecutive rounds. Classic Cruz going to be on your final kill cam here, and I'm liking, that they're, I think it was Bossy and Classic Cruz playing together, and even though she wasn't able to save her teammate, she's able to pick up the final kill. And Noob Hero trailing 1 and 5. Needs to step it up a little bit in that department. But let's see what Virtue can do on defense. They're on defense, and Netflix and COD is going to have the bomb in hand. As usual, going towards the B-bomb site. Classic Cruz and Bossy going to be pretty aggressive here, pushing up towards this top rock area. Classic Cruz needs to be careful here. Breeny is going to be first blooded along with Classic Cruz, so 4 versus 2 for the situation. Make that Noob Hero in a 1 versus 4. Strictly Business are getting the bomb down.
And Strictly Business making quick work of that Virtue squad. Netflix and COD gets the bomb down. Songfully still going on a tear, 10-3 as the Dart unable to be used for use. Noob Hero probably just going to be padding her stats at this point, as there's 1 on the 2 on the bridge and 1 coming for the pinch. She spots 1 going in the water. She's going to have to just play her life. She spots 1 on the wall and doesn't know that there's another one on that bridge. 1v2. If she can get this kill, it could be clutchable, but she does not. And SB going for the brilliant pinch right there, going up 5-1 in this S&D. Showing Virtue just hasn't really showed any signs of life since that beginning of that. The only signs of life I've seen from is that beginning of that hard point.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen Virtue do pretty good on S&Ds. It just might not be their best map to play on, honestly. And 5 rounds to 1 favor of Strictly Business, 1 round away. So Virtue are going to be having a lot of pressure on their shoulders, especially now on offense. They haven't had too many successful offensive. I think the only round they did win was an offensive round. So hopefully they're able to repeat that one, as Noob Hero is going to have the bomb in hand. Kind of standing on that bridge area is a little bit of a danger zone. You can get picked off really easily from the top building. Bossy's going to have that, I think, a psychosis. But Noob Hero finally does drop, trying to poke that player in the top building. So now it's a 3 versus 3 with bomb down for Virtue.
And Netflix and COD able to get 1 there. Virtue has 2 down. Classic Cruz and Breeny the last 2 left. That bomb is going to be down on the bridge. Here's Breeny able to get 1 and make it a 2v2. Songfully and Berlin K left in a 2v2 situation here. Glitch for Berlin K if she likes to use it. Doesn't spot that player in bunker. Unlucky COD timing there. The bomb carrier is going to be pushing up bridge. He doesn't spot her. Turns her screen right the last second. Looks like they miss each other barely once again. That they know that she's up there. That 1 player on bridge did spot her. It looks like she's going to be alone. She does spot that player on bomb and does get picked off, leaving Songfully in a 1v2 clutch all the way in the back of their spawn. I don't think that player bridge knows she's coming. I think she's just rotating back and forth here. She's going to get some bad timing. Songfully's able to get 1. She knows the last player was on bomb, so it's going to be a 1v1 situation between her and Classic Cruz.
Yeah, let's see if Songfully can clutch this. We've seen her clutch so many of these types of situations in Season 1. Can she do this here? So the bomb knows the player is nowhere near the bomb. Could be in the top of the building, however. Is she going to go for the defuse? Has plenty of time to go for the kill. Is able to spot her. This player is underwater. Is she going to actually not challenge this player? But here comes the player. No, thinking that player would have ran away and gone for the defuse with Classy Cruz. Smart of her to check the bomb, as now Virtue take a second round.
Yep, so Virtue's not completely out of it yet. Classic Cruz able to win the 1v1. Good for her. She's really the only one I've seen her last alive almost every time. She's really the only one to able to do anything in those clutch situations. But it looks like we have SB once again on that offensive end. If they just get bombed down here, I think it's going to be curtains for this Virtue team, especially with Uplink coming up. It doesn't look like that's their strongest game mode ever. But we do see this Jessie popping the active camo blindly. Does spot that player, though. Able to get first pick. That's going to be a great play by her. Something a lot of decent S&D players do end up doing. Able to get that mid-control with that active camo. Great plays. SB is getting a little aggressive, trying to get some Netflix card, trying to get some bullets in one of those players in the back of the spawn, but looks like Virtue's going to have that disadvantage, and bomb is down for the SB team.
Yeah, SB have a pretty nice setup here. Netflix and COD just kind of hitting this wall run, just playing her life a little bit, able to spot one. There's actually a player right below her as well. So with the sub in hand, she's able to win this gunfight here. Virtue could be set up for the trade, and no, SB are able to shut all those players down, and this is going to be a 6-2 win for Strictly Business, as Songplay hits the double digits with 11 and 4, but Netflix and COD with 3 plants, Jessie as well with 1 plant on the side of Virtue, Breenated with 2 plants, trailing with 4 and 8. However, it's Classic Cruz with the most amount of kills for her squad with 6 and 6 and 1 plant.
Yeah, SB completely dominating that S&D. Looks like the same story as the match before. Virtue losing 6-1 before, now losing 6-2. Just looks like S&D is their best game mode. Maybe needs a little bit of work as we go into this next uplink map. SB needs to just keep doing what they're doing after they broke out of that hard point. The 60-5 hard point control there by Virtue. They kind of just show their strength. So they just got to keep doing what they've been doing, and it looks like they'll just win this uplink with ease once again.
Yeah, this might be the 3-0 direction here. Breach uplink is going to be your map number 3. We're going to be right back after this quick intermission.
Preparado pra fuder. Ela veio quente, hoje eu tô fervendo. Ela veio quente, hoje eu tô fervendo. Quer desafiar, não tô entendendo. Mexeu com R7, vai voltar, caixa ardendo. Vai correr de pé, baile de favela. Que a Marconi é baile de favela. Que a São Rafael é baile de favela. E os menores preparados pra fuder, caixa dela vai. Os menores preparados pra fuder, caixa dela vai.
Welcome back, guys, to Female Pro League stream. Map number 3 underway of Strictly Business versus Virtue. So, Strictly Business leading the series 2-0 like you guys saw. Can Virtue show some life here, or is this going to be the end of the night? Let's load up the Banner Protect. HCXD going to come off right off the board along with Overdrive and probably your usuals.
Yeah, so Overdrive out of here. Normal uplink, like I said before. Rapid Fire and HC, nothing really out of the ordinary. we'll probably see the ordinary bands in all honesty. Stun, Flash, High Cal, Active Camo. That's 4. Probably one more from me. Kinetic. Let's see if I can guess all the 4 bands that are going to go along. But Virtue really needs to work together and push aggressively and get control and get this spawn trap going. That was their main concern this last uplink on Fringe. They just were pushing the wrong way, and they could never get the spawn trap. And that's the biggest thing in uplink. Along with your 1-point throws, you really need to set up a spawn trap, because the players that set up the spawn trap and know how to break the spawn trap win the uplink 95% of the time.
Yep, I agree. Now the tacticals are going to come out as well. And I mean, Breach uplink, what else could you go for? I guess the kinetic armor and the overclock, maybe? Or are we going to see maybe some weapons finally being targeted here? I don't think any weapons were touched at all through the series. Semtex and M8 are going to be your final 2 picks, and Noob Hero is going to be the one that bans the M8. So an interesting weapon target there.
Ban the M8. All right. So that's going to make the XR2 more into play. I believe the Man of War is still there too. So maybe we see some HVKs and Man of Wars here. Annihilator used by Songfully. Why? I mean, I've been seeing that a lot more. I used to disagree with that choice, but now the way I've seen it being used, I mean, I guess I agree with it a little bit more if you know how to shoot it straight, at least. So Heatwave, Active Camo, Classic Cruise will probably pick that kinetic armor here for that Virtue side. Looks like SB is finally seeing the use of kinetic. Yep, we'll see the match right there. So it's pretty average on these pick and bans. Nothing really out of the ordinary, like Rejack or something weird. That'd be crazy. But Breach uplink is all about controlling that green side of the map. If you control green and construction, then you're able to get those spawn traps going on either side. And you'll force the team to spawn ramp. And if you force them to spawn ramp, you can set that mid-spawn kill really easily on this map. And it's really hard to break unless you're a very team-oriented team, which a lot of these teams aren't, unfortunately. So if these teams are able to get that spawn trap going, I feel whoever gets that control first is going to win this.
Of course, and Specialist Draft all loaded up. You're going to have the Heatwave, Kinetic Armor, and Psychosis matched on both sides. The only one sticking out is Songfully's Annihilator and Bossy's Active Camo. So both very, very viable specialists, of course. Bossy, and they both pretty much guarantee you some kills. Of course, Songfully's a very, very talented Annihilator player in the FPL, so I don't doubt she'll do very well with that. And then Active Camo, you can't really go wrong with that. Pretty much one of the top 3 specialists you're going to use in kinetic armor. Going to be interesting to see, like we did see, I think in the last uplink we casted, there was a kinetic armor allowed as well, and that grants you extra armor even on top of the drone armor that you do acquire. So going to be interesting to see if Cruz and Jesse are going to be picking up the drone, maybe using the kinetic armor or pushing that kinetic armor specialist into the enemy spawn. It's going to be a good specialist to watch out for here, and we see some interesting Psychosis plays as well in map number 1, kind of using it for baiting and just information acquiring throughout the map. What maybe a vision pulse would have been cool to see on Breach uplink. There's a lot of corners and walls and things to watch out for, maybe more information acquiring specialists like that. However, it's going to be a good match to see. Hopefully Virtue can make it back.
Yeah, I mean, Virtue's been showing some signs of life in the beginning of those games, and it really shows they know how to play right, and they know how to play together, but they just don't do it all the time, and that's a big struggle. You can't let that those scores or like any points on the board, like the big scores, the scores racking up against you affect your gameplay, because that'll just make you lose even more. So if Virtue can just get it together and play how they play well, if they play well the whole game, then they're going to win. They just got to keep composed. And, I mean, maybe they don't have that one player on the team that's keeping them like, oh, it's cool, guys. We're good. We're going to win this. We just got to work together, team shoot, push together, be aggressive, win our gunfights, and we're good. Instead, they probably just all panic, and then it's kind of just like they kind of stop calling out. I mean, communication's huge, especially in this game where the spawns are so sporadic, and they're somewhat easy to predict, but the sporadic spawns, you really need to keep your communication up. But we're going to start into this, and Virtue, I hope to see a strong push from them. We're going to see that Man of War, since the M8 is banned, 2 Man of Wars and 2, Razorback, all right, Razorback for that, something different. SB is going to running the 3 sub 1 AR. That AR is going to be the XR2. We'll see how this break opens up.
Yeah, the Razorback certainly something I haven't seen since the beginning of the game when it was actually good, but Songfully's going to be the one rocking the XR2 and the only AR on the side of Strictly Business, 3 subs along with them, and then like you said, an interesting attachments on the side of Virtue, and also Classic Cruise having a frag and a smoke grenade combo. It's going to be funny to see how that works out. 4 players, however, go down for Virtue right off the bat. BerlinK is going to pick up the drone, heading towards the Virtue spawn already. And Netflix Akad is already there and has cleared the entire Virtue spawn, so an easy 2-point play right off the bat for Strictly Business. So hopefully Virtue are set up on reset here, and it's going to be Classic Cruise picking up the drone, or actually just kind of waiting out for her teammates here. But as I do say that, Classic Cruise is going to pick up the drone and head into Palace.
And she's pushing alone and pushing the wrong way. You don't want to push in Palace because you're giving the team favorable spawns in green. You want the players of SB to spawn inside of Palace. So it just flusters me to see it. I mean, when SB got that cap, they pushed the right way, they pushed out the right ways, and you saw the players spawn in Palace. So I'm just going to see SB dominate this map. I mean, Virtue maybe even needs to watch some streams or something. It's still a little flustering to me. But we're going to see Classic Cruise and Balls able to get some picks there. 3 dead. Netflix Akad the last one alive, able to get that pick by herself. Just throws that ball down and plays her life here. Smart plays, trying to look for the player, and she almost gets Classic Cruise pushing up, but her teammates are going to trade. So that's 2 down, 2 down for SB, and looks like new hero and Ballsy, the last one's left, trying to make something work on the defensive end, able to get one, but gets traded quickly, and BerlinK able to trade her teammate up as well, doesn't realize that was her. SB trying to get some control of this middle out before they go ahead and go for another cap.
Yeah, 3-0 still in favor of Strictly Business, and they're going to have some control of the middle map. BerlinK still picking up some kills here, picking up 2 right off the bat, and she's just waiting for the go-ahead for her teammates to pick up the drone, which she does, going top AC, leading the charge, and her teammate Songfleet does go down in front of her. Should be good for the 1-point play, just has to line it up, and it does connect. 4-0 lead for Strictly Business. Netflix Akad is already set up on reset as well with the Man of War, and actually does get taken out, so this could be Virtue's chance to put some points on the board. Noob Hero is going to activate that Psychosis, try and bait it out a little bit more. Should be good for the 1-point play. Your girl Jess is going to prevent the 2, or can she prevent the 2?
Okay.
And Jessie falls off the map, but is able to at least pick up Noob Hero.
And that player is able to get the 2 right there. Choked shot by Netflix and COD, trying to clean it up. So finally Virtue gets on that board. Classic Cruise has the ball, trying to go for another one. Tries to go for the wall run, but the auto mantle stops her. One player runs right past her, but that ball is going to get off the map. There's strong defensive plays by SB. Grenade is going to be the one alive, trying to get 2. Good plays, pushing in that Broken. I like it. She's going to have to go for 1 more. That's Jessie pre-firing her out of Broken, knowing she was there. And Classic Cruise going for this flank. Now, this isn't a bad play by her. They don't have the ball, and she's flanking. The ball's coming from green. So this flank actually is so beneficial. But too bad that ball's going to fall off the map. That was a great play by them. Unfortunately, just that 1-point miss and it going off the map really just screwed them. But I like that play by them. Virtue trying to get back into this. SB does have 4 up, though, and they are getting control of this middle map. Likely, if all these players of Virtue do go down, we're likely to see a 2-point score right here.
Yeah, I was hoping Boston was able to get that. I've just seen that from Virtue in their last uplink that we casted over. Many 1-point plays that are missed, and you really got to practice those. It's one thing to slay, but these 1-point plays can really change a game around. So Noob here is going to pick that up. Hopefully she's not going to be the one to miss it, but there's Songfleet who just annihilates both those players, and Jessie's going to pick up the drone, and now they're going to head towards the Virtue spawn, not going for any resets here. And as you can see, Virtue are spawning over in the Palace area. Classic Cruise needs to hurry back to the spawn. Kinetic Armor, is she going to pop it here? No, she doesn't, but the 2-point play does go through for Strictly Business, however, and that's going to be a 2-possession lead for them.
Yep, and SB quickly showing why they're dominant in this game mode, but Noob Hero does have that ball with the Psychosis, trying to go for this 2, but just quickly throws it in for 1. Smart plays by her, not getting greedy, as she did run out of boost. Ballsy is on that wall run, trying to help her teammate go for this another score here. I like these plays by Virtue, finally pushing the right, that's pushing the right side of the map, and that's exactly what they need to do here. Unfortunately, they did get slayed out, and SB does have a prime opportunity to score. Looks like Netflix and COD is going to be waiting for her teammates, as it's probably going to be the final potential scoring position of the game. Ballsy able to get to that. Ball's just going to go straight off the map here. Smart plays her way to the heat wave, though, and looks like that's going to be 3 dead. Virtue might have potential scoring play here. 14 seconds left. They need to win all their gunfights. Maybe just go for this 1. That ball's going to be just pushed up middle map, and they have no idea. There's only 1 player left. She's just going to go through the wall, that throw, and that's a good throw. I like that. That was a brilliant play there. Just go for one. Noob Hero able to clear up and only make this game a one-possession game.
That's how we do it.
Yeah, that was a nice throw. You gotta give Noob Hero these. I think that was, yeah, Noob Hero. Give her the drone a little bit more. That was a nice throw. Only one possession lead for Strictly Business going into the half. And looking at the score, we got Jesse with the most amount of kills, 15 and 8. Almost double positive with 1 carry and 1 throw. And of course, who else? Bossy and Classy Cruz and Netflixicon and Songfully all tied with 11 kills each. Let's see what these players can do on the other side. Classy Cruz is going to spawn in with the kinetic armor that I spoke about. She could have maybe used it for defense in the last round, but couldn't have stopped the 2-point play from going in. However, let's see how these players do set up in this middle of the map. Noob Hero is going to rush in, grab the drone right off the spawn, and does get taken out. So 2, 3, 4 down for Virtue, and this is going to be an offensive run for SB.
Jesse does have that ball here, and they're going to be pushing up that green side as Netflix and Kai going for the slay in bottom broken. Now they get the spawn trap going. This is great by SB. They have that spawn trap in the middle map. That player does get picked off, though. Bozzy's going to be on the ball. I would just grab this ball and run if I'm her. I'd take that ball and run, but looks like she's not going to do that. Breenade able to get one, does get traded right off the way. They're able to get 2, so that's 2 dead. I was pop the active cam. Looks like she's going to pop 1. They're going to kill the other. Songfully to get the trade, though, off the spawn. Songfully able to get 2, does grab that ball. Probably just get some health back, throw it down, and go for some kills. Does spot 1, bottom broken, doesn't get that kill, though. One's up top, Classy Cruz able to get 1. It looks like SB trying to get more control as they're only up by 2 possessions.
Yeah, only 2 possessions, still doable to do with, 4 minutes left in the game. Bossy's gonna pick up the drone, could be set up for the 1-point play, and does it connect? And it does, making this only still a 2-possession game, 3 points away. And would have liked to see Virtue go for a little bit more of these 2-point plays. And these 1-point plays can be a little bit risky when sometimes you do miss it. Classic Crew's gonna pick up the drone. Let's get another 1-point play in. That would be fantastic for her team. She's going to get shot up there in lab, and Netflix and Car is going to be able to pick up that kill. Noob Hero is going to recover the drone, but she goes down as well, so fantastic defense out of SB. They need to go for the reset here. There's still some players from Virtue chasing them. Netflix and Car is going to go down, and so does the drone. Not reset quite yet, as Breenade is trying to get that drone back in her favor, but Songfly is going to run away with it.
Oh, and she punches out that character, looking for another one. She knows there's more there. There's one right outside, just going to throw that ball down, trying to regen her health, throws it out to the enemy, and they're just going to take that ball and throw it off. Great plays by Noob Hero, preventing any potential score. She's the only one in that green area as her teammates are pushing up. That's going to be down. Songfully able to get that one, but Brittany is able to get the trade. The ball is in favor of SB. That's Jesse throwing the ball to the enemy and shooting it, but there's going to be the ball to be passing back and forth, playing some hot potato with it. Jesse able to get that pick, and the Connect armor comes into play, but she's really weak and does get picked up by Noob Hero. Great defensive block by Virtue. It's only down by 2 possessions, a 1-point and a 2-point here. That ball armor does get reset, and she throws it as her teammate does get 1. This is a potential scoring opportunity right here for Virtue. She has to get these kills. Her teammates have to get these kills. As that armor is reset, she has a potential scoring opportunity for 2. Her teammate should go first, and baiting that 2-point play does come in. Virtue making this a game here. They're not getting blown out. 8-7, 1-possession game here as Virtue's right back into it.
Yeah, and SB are set up for reset here. Netflix and Car going to throw it for some yardage, but she does go down. Classic Cruz with the 2-piece. However, now the drone is just laying. Noob Hero and Bossy could be setting up to go for another run here. Only 2 players of SB are up. Noob Hero is going to finally recover the drone, go towards this middle of the map, but she needs to play her life here and buy a little bit of time. 2 minutes left, still plenty of time to get the 2-point play, or at least 1-point play, as Songfly is going to use her Annihilator again, and she's going to chase this player with the drone who went actually Palace, and SB are able to recover that drone. So Noob Hero kind of just trying to do a route by herself, but nonetheless dropping.
And it looks like SB was going hunting for that player with the ball, as they know they're only up by 1 point here. So they have to make some quick work offensively. The one player is behind that ball carrier, able to get that pick. That's a great play by Ballsy, preventing any potential scores, as SB did have full control of their base. SB's still there. Now Breenade just needs to grab that ball and run, and that's a great play. Nobody wrapped back for the ball. This could be a 1-point play unless they can get shots into where they do. Great defensive play by Jess, able to hit middle map and get those shots from across the map. One player there, that's Classy Clues, and Jesse's able to get that defensive pick. They're going to be spawning up, and this is going to be huge for Virtue if they want to stay in this game. Only down by 1. They can make sure no score comes in, or only 1 comes in, and they'll be fine, but that's 2 down. SB just have 2 left as that ball is reset. Here comes Lycosis adding players to this map. Is she trying to get the punch? And she does. That's Noob Hero, and she could get this 1-point play. There's no one in the base. She's gonna go for 2. Virtue's gonna take the lead.
Oh my god, fantastic plays out of Noob Hero, activating that Psychosis, opening up the plays for her to pick up the drone. But here comes Netflix and COD also on reset. There's only going to be one player on defense, and that's going to be Bossy. But now it's actually going to be Noob Hero rotating over on defense here as Netflix and COD can get the one and make this a tie game. Goes for the two, no one's there to stop her, and Strictly Business take the lead change with 25 seconds left. How are Virtue going to respond?
Yeah, so SP able to get the lead change, just 15 seconds left. If they just get this one, it's over. I mean, two, it's over now. Virtue has no chance of getting that ball. I mean, that was a brilliant play to bring it back, but they just couldn't close it out there. SP's able to get that final push, and that's kind of just like the moral of the story right there. Just that's basically all their games in one. They just could not close it out. And, I mean, Virtue just took 2-3-0 losses right there, and that was probably my favorite uplink to watch here. Is they barely lost that one.
Yeah, that was the closest game of the night. You know, Virtue just barely, the lead changed in their favor in the last seconds. You're like, oh my god, Virtue just clutched it. And then you saw SB set up on reset, and then you're like, okay, they just have to prevent the 2-point play, and you had two players of Virtue set up on defense, but they didn't shoot the player. They allowed her to get the 2-point play, and then the lead change going into Strictly Business's favor. And Songflay 27-19 is the girl with the most amount of kills, and she had just a fantastic game with that Annihilator. I think she picked up multi-kills every time she picked it up. And also Bossy also had a really great hardpoint and a really great uplink. I think she got 25 kills before the scoreboard went away. However, that's going to be a 3-0 series win for Strictly Business, so congratulations to them, and congratulations to Riot, and congratulations to Savage for winning all of their games tonight. We've had some pretty exciting games, even a 3v4 series win at one point. I think that was Savage. Either way, just a crazy night full of matches, and what are your thoughts on that, Max?
I mean, Virtue did a really good job in that uplink. I really liked how they played. They started playing the right way, and it really went in their flavor. If we see that Virtue every time they played, they could be a top female Pro League team, and they have a chance of getting this money. But they really need to harvest how they played in that match and play like that all the time. I mean, they didn't close it out, but granted, that was a lot better. That was a great effort at the end, and I liked watching it. So it was a fun 6-0 to spectate. I mean, it was Call of Duty. Casting Call of Duty is fun. So it was a fun Tuesday night.
Yeah, and I mean, there's only a couple more days of matches, guys, before the final playoffs are underway. So, of course, July 22nd is going to be the next set of matches. Virtue versus Flawless. Right. To be an intense match. First place versus third place. And you got Sway Gaming versus Orbit on July 22nd. So make sure you guys tune in. I think that's on Friday, I do believe. Yes, that's on Friday, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern. And I don't know the other time zones, but 6 p.m. Eastern. And then July 24th, we only have one match, Virtue versus Savage. And July 26th is the last day of matches where Savage and Orbit, Virtue and just Orbit and Savage, I think. Either way, and I think that we're aiming to have playoffs around, let's say, the weekend of August 19th. I'm not very 100% confirmed or sure yet, but around the mid-August is when the playoffs are going to be, so the players will have a couple weeks to get their squad situated and the strategy set before playoffs are underway. So only a couple more days of matches, like I do say, is going to be very intense how the standings are going to look like at the end of the season. However, make sure you guys tune in on Friday for that. And also like to shout out our sponsors. I forgot to say this all stream, but thank you so much to Ergo Guys, Caliphone, and Acquire for being such generous and awesome sponsors for us. Make sure you check out acquire.ca or our website, femaleproleague.com, to check out the apparel and all the fun things our sponsors do provide us and help us out with. They are awesome. And I'd like to thank our producer, Kendall, and the casters that have come on tonight, Dirk, Paradox, and my friend Max here, aka Scruffer. Make sure you follow them all on Twitter. We're going to put that in the chat for you guys. And make sure you if you want, to follow me, LemonKiwi_. Season 2 of FPL, almost done, almost finished, couple more days left. And Max, any closing words?
I'll just thank you to all the sponsors, and another fun time casting with you. I know I haven't been casting that much because I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty, but it was a fun night. It was fun. So, yeah, hope to see you guys in the chat whenever I cast next, and hope you guys all have a great night.
Yeah, I hope you guys have a great night. Make sure you tune in on Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Follow the Female Pro League Twitter, where you get all the updates on when we go live, if there's any delays, or who's coming on live. And the schedule can also be found on femaleproleague.com, along with the standings, your favorite teams, and things like that. All the rosters can also be found on Twitter if you're curious about that. Either way, that's it. That's all we have for you guys, and we hope you guys have a wonderful night.
Hoje eu tô fervendo, ela veio quente. Hoje eu tô fervendo, quer desafiar, não tô entendendo. Mexeu com R7, vai voltar, caixota ardendo. Vai correr de pé, baile de favela. Que a Marconi é baile de favela. Que a São Rafael é baile de favela. E os menor preparados pra fuder, caixota dela vai. Pra fuder, caixota dela vai.